Hello guys, welcome to Scion What If. So in this video, we will see what if Goku could stack all transformations. If you enjoy these kinds of stories, don't forget to show us some love by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Your support means the world to us. Now, let's start the story. Chapter 1, Breakthrough. The impact shook the entire pocket dimension. Goku's body slammed against the invisible barrier of Whis' training realm, electricity crackling across his Super Saiyan Blue aura. He tasted blood but grinned anyway, pushing himself back to his feet. Come on, Whis. That all you got? Goku wiped his mouth with the back of his hand, adrenaline masking the pain of what had to be at least 3 broken ribs. Whis hovered effortlessly, staff balanced between 2 fingers. Hardly, Goku. I'm using approximately 0.3% of my capabilities. He sighed, examining his nails. Your progress has plateaued again. Even Super Saiyan Blue has limitations. You're approaching rapidly. Goku knew Whis was right. The crushing gravity of the training realm, now 500 times Earth's normal pull, barely bothered him anymore. Super Saiyan Blue had become comfortable, almost second nature. But comfort meant stagnation. I need more power, Goku muttered, more to himself than to Whis. Just a little boost. That's when the idea struck him. Not new, exactly, he'd combined Kaioken with Super Saiyan Blue before, but always sequentially. What if? Kaioken. Goku shouted, but instead of dropping his Super Saiyan Blue form first, he pushed the Kaioken energy alongside it. The effect was immediate and catastrophic. Red energy erupted around his blue aura, not mixing but layering. Pain lanced through every cell as conflicting energies fought for dominance inside his body. But for those brief seconds, holy crap, the power. Goku, stop this instant. Whis' voice cut through the roar of energy, suddenly serious. You're destabilizing the. Goku couldn't hear the rest. The combined energies imploded, sending him crashing into the ground hard enough to create a crater. Every muscle spasmed in protest. But through the agony, one thought burned brighter than the pain: it worked. Fascinating. Whis stood over him, expression unusually concerned. You've done something quite reckless, even by your standards. Did you feel that? Goku wheezed, trying to sit up despite his body's protests. Indeed. You didn't simply alternate between transformations, you stacked them. Maintained the energy signature of Super Saiyan Blue while overlaying Kaioken's properties. Whis tapped his staff, instantly healing Goku's worst injuries. The power increase was exponential, not additive. And likely would have killed you in another few seconds. Goku laughed, wincing as his newly healed ribs protested. Worth it though. Man, if I could control that. I wouldn't advise. Whis stopped mid-sentence, eyes widening slightly as he stared into space. Whis. What's wrong? The angel's face showed an emotion Goku rarely witnessed: concern. We need to return to Earth immediately. Your little experiment appears to have had consequences. The first thing Goku noticed upon arriving at Capsule Corporation was the crowd. Bulma, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, and even Krillin stood gathered around some scientific equipment on the lawn, arguing loudly. Tell you it's not a weather phenomenon. Bulma jabbed a finger at a tablet displaying multicolored waveforms. These energy patterns don't occur naturally. It's not Frieza's energy signature either, Vegeta growled. I'd recognize that anywhere. Gohan spotted them first. Dad. Whis. Thank goodness you're here. Did you feel it too? Feel what? Goku asked, still riding the high from his training breakthrough. Energy fluctuations, Piccolo answered grimly. Started about 20 minutes ago. First in West City, then reports from across the globe. Random power surges, gravity anomalies, even electronics malfunctioning. Bulma pushed her blue hair from her face in frustration. It's like Something's disrupting the fundamental forces, but in specific locations. Almost like, probing, Whis finished. Something is testing Earth's energy signature. All eyes turned to the angel. Goku performed an interesting experiment during training, Whis explained, twirling his staff casually. He stacked 2 transformation states simultaneously. He what? Vegeta stomped forward, face contorted in disbelief and anger. Kakarot, that's impossible. Goku rubbed the back of his head with a sheepish grin. Well, I kinda did it anyway. Just for a second though. Combined Super Saiyan Blue with Kaioken. Not sequentially, Whis clarified. Simultaneously. Bulma's scientific curiosity immediately overrode any concerns. That's incredible. The energy requirements would be, wait. Her excitement faded. You think this caused these anomalies? Not directly, Whis said. Rather, I believe Goku's experiment created a distinct energy signature that something has noticed. Something that finds transformation energy particularly interesting. Piccolo crossed his arms. You're talking like it's a sentient being. I suspect it may be. Whis's normally playful demeanor had vanished entirely. There are entities in the multiverse drawn to unique energy patterns. Power attracts power. Vegeta scoffed. So Kakarot does one stupid thing, what else is new, and now we have another threat to deal with. Hey! Goku protested. It wasn't stupid. You're just jealous you didn't think of it first. Before Vegeta could retort, the sky above Capsule Corp darkened unnaturally. Not cloud cover, but something more fundamental, as if light itself was being absorbed. Static electricity raised the hair on everyone's arms. It's happening again. Krillin shouted, dropping into a defensive stance. Goku felt it immediately, a pressure against his ki, like something was testing him, probing the edges of his power. Instinctively, he powered up to Super Saiyan, golden aura flaring around him. The response was immediate. The darkness above intensified, focusing directly over their position. A single point of light appeared at its center, expanding rapidly into a swirling vortex of energy. Everyone back! Gohan shouted, stepping in front of Bulma protectively. The vortex stabilized, and through it floated a humanoid figure. Tall and lean with crystalline skin that reflected light in rainbow patterns. No visible mouth, just glowing eyes that shifted colors constantly. Energy pulsed beneath its transparent surface in patterns that hurt to look at directly. It hovered 10 feet above them, studying each person in turn before its gaze settled on Goku. You. The voice didn't come from the creature but seemed to form in their minds directly. You created the anomaly. The forbidden stacking. Goku stepped forward. That's right. Who are you, and what do you want? The creature tilted its head, the motion too fluid to be natural. I am Serix, Herald of Nexus, Keeper of Cosmic Constants. Each capitalized title somehow felt emphasized in their minds. I have come to investigate the distortion you created in the energy pattern of this universe. Look, if this is about me stacking transformations, stacking, Serix interrupted, the concept seeming to interest him. Yes. Layering states of being that should remain distinct. This is forbidden. Vegeta stepped forward, blue aura already flaring around him as he transformed. Nothing's forbidden to Science, especially not getting stronger. If Kakarot found a new technique, that's just Scion ingenuity. Serix's attention shifted to Vegeta, the crystalline body pulsing with new patterns. Another transformer. This world has many. Dangerous. Unstable. Nexus must be informed. Goku didn't like the sound of that. Hey, we're not dangerous. Well, not to good people anyway. Who's this Nexus guy? Nexus maintains balance. Transformation energy destabilizes reality fabric when improperly contained. Your recent breakthrough has created ripples. Serix raised a crystalline hand, and energy began gathering. I will take a sample for analysis. I don't think so. Goku moved without hesitation, teleporting directly in front of Cerex and throwing a punch aimed at the center of its crystalline mass. His fist connected, and passed straight through, the creature's body rippling like water before reforming. Cerex didn't even flinch, merely observing with those color-shifting eyes. Physical attacks ineffective. Interesting. A beam of energy shot from Cerex's palm, not at Goku but at Vegeta, who barely managed to dodge. Where the beam hit the ground, a perfect hemisphere of Earth simply vanished, not destroyed but removed from existence. Shit. Krillin jumped back. That's not regular energy. It's sampling, Whis observed, still not entering the fight. Collecting data on transformations. Another beam shot toward Gohan, who deflected it with a hasty energy shield that shattered on impact. The next instant, Cerex appeared directly behind Piccolo, touching the Namekian's shoulder before anyone could react. Piccolo froze, his energy flickering wildly. Stop! Goku shouted, flaring instantly to Super Saiyan Blue. The familiar rush of divine ki filled him, but watching Piccolo struggle gave him a desperate idea. What if he tried it again? Controlled it better this time? Gritting his teeth against the anticipated pain, Goku focused. Super Saiyan Blue was already active, its divine energy coursing through him. Instead of letting go of that transformation, he reached for the familiar burn of Kaioken. Kaioken, times 3. The effect was immediate. Red energy erupted around his blue aura, creating a violent purple where they mixed. Pain shot through every cell, but Goku was ready this time, mentally directing the conflicting energies. Everyone, even Cerex, stopped to stare. Whoa, Krillin whispered. His power level just. Impossible, Vegeta muttered, eyes wide with shock and something like envy. Cerex released Piccolo, who dropped to one knee, gasping. The crystalline being turned fully toward Goku, its internal energy patterns accelerating. Confirmation of stacking anomaly. Priority alert. The telepathic voice sounded more urgent now. Subject must be contained for study. Goku grinned through the pain, the combined auras roaring around him. Sorry, but I'm not big on being studied. He vanished, reappearing directly above Cerex with hands cupped at his side. Ka. Me. The blue energy gathered between his palms, but different this time, streaked with red lightning from the Kaioken overlay. Ha. Me. Cerex raised both arms, creating a barrier of crystalline energy. Transformation stacking detected. Containment protocols initiated. Ha. The beam that erupted from Goku's hands wasn't the usual blue, it was violet-tinged, crackling with unstable energy. It slammed into Cerex's barrier with world-shaking force. For a moment, the barrier held, then fractured like glass. The being made no sound as the energy engulfed it, but its body began to break apart, crystalline pieces shattering and dissolving. Before it completely disintegrated, Cerex's voice echoed one final time, sample collected. Nexus comes. The harmonic will judge this world. Then it was gone, leaving nothing but a faint shower of crystalline dust that evaporated before reaching the ground. Goku landed unsteadily, the double transformation still raging around him. His vision blurred, muscles screaming in protest. Kakarot, turn it off before you explode. Vegeta's voice seemed to come from far away. Can't, yet. Goku gasped. The power was incredible but unsustainable. With the immediate threat gone, he needed to test something. One more. Goku, don't. Whis called out, actually showing alarm. But Goku had to know. Could he add a third? Focusing through the pain, he reached for that distinct feeling he discovered during the Tournament of Power, the cool detachment of Ultra Instinct. For just an instant, less than a heartbeat, silver flickered through his red and blue aura. The ground beneath him cracked in a perfect circle, pebbles rising. To float in the air. Then everything imploded. Goku's auras vanished as he collapsed, smoke rising from his body. The last thing he saw before consciousness fled was Vegeta's stunned face and was shaking his head in what looked like equal parts amazement and concern. Completely irresponsible. He could have killed himself. Bulma's voice pierced through the fog in Goku's mind. You think I don't know that? Chi-Chi's equally angry voice responded. But telling Goku not to try something risky is like telling water not to be wet. Goku cracked open an eye. He was lying in one of Bulma's medical recovery rooms, various monitors beeping steadily around him. His entire body felt like it had been run through a meat grinder, then set on fire, then frozen, then shattered, and somehow put back together wrong. Worth it, though. Totally worth it. He's awake, came Whis' calm observation. Immediately, the room crowded with concerned faces, Chi-Chi, Gohan, Bulma, Vegeta, Whis, even Beerus lounging in the corner looking mildly interested. You idiot. Chi-Chi grabbed his shoulder, then immediately let go when he winced. Her expression softened slightly. You big, stupid, are you okay? Hey, Chi-Chi, Goku managed a weak smile. I'm fine. Just hungry. Collective sighs filled the room, the surest sign Goku would recover was his appetite returning. Beerus yawned dramatically. So the mighty Goku discovered he can stack transformations and nearly destroyed himself in the process. Fascinating. Wake me when there's pudding. Lord Beerus is downplaying his concern, Whis noted with a small smile. He rushed here immediately when I informed him of the situation. I did no such thing. Beerus protested. I merely wanted to ensure no destruction occurred without my permission. Goku tried to sit up, grimacing at the effort. How long was I out? 3 days, Gohan answered, adjusting his glasses nervously. Your ki was completely chaotic. Even Dend had trouble healing you. 3 days. Goku's stomach growled on cue. No wonder I'm starving. Vegeta stood with arms crossed, scowling as usual, but Goku could see the questions burning in his rival's eyes. So, Vegeta finally said, you really did it. Stacked transformations. Goku nodded, unable to keep the excitement from his voice despite his condition. Yeah. Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken at the same time. And at the end there, I almost added Ultra Instinct too. You what? Several voices shouted simultaneously. Whis tapped his staff on the ground, drawing everyone's attention. That would explain your condition. One body was never meant to channel such contradictory energies simultaneously. Super Saiyan Blue requires perfect ki control, Kaioken multiplies everything including the strain, and Ultra Instinct demands the absence of conscious thought. The combination is, theoretically impossible. Theory, Shmuri, Goku laughed, then clutched his ribs. Ow. I did it though. Just for a split second. And nearly died, Chi-Chi pointed out sharply. But I didn't. Goku countered with infectious enthusiasm. And man, the power was incredible. If I could control it better, you absolutely should not attempt this again, Whis interrupted firmly. At least not until we understand what you've done and its consequences. Bulma nodded, holding up a tablet displaying complex energy readings. Your body's cellular structure is showing signs of transformation fatigue, something I didn't even know existed until now. It's like your cells can't decide which form to maintain. Forget about his cells, Vegeta growled. What about that crystal freak and this nexus it mentioned? Sounds like we've attracted unwanted attention. The room grew quiet. In his excitement about the transformation breakthrough, Goku had almost forgotten about Serix and its ominous final warning. Whis. Goku looked at the angel. You seem to know something about what that guy was talking about. Who or what is Nexus? Whis sighed, an unusually serious expression crossing his features. I have my suspicions, though I hoped I was mistaken. He glanced at Beerus, who nodded slightly. There are entities in the multiverse older than the gods of destruction, though few in number. Some observe, some interfere. Nexus, if it is who I believe, belongs to a class of cosmic entities concerned with maintaining certain universal constants. Constants? Gohan asked. Like physical laws? Among other things. The balance between creation and destruction. The boundaries between dimensions. The rules governing transformation of energy and matter. Whis pointed his staff at Goku. Your breakthrough may have violated one of these perceived constants, that transformative states must remain distinct and temporary. Goku scratched his head. But I didn't break anything. Just found a new technique. To you, yes. To an entity like Nexus, you've demonstrated that a fundamental rule can be broken, which makes you unpredictable. Dangerous. Whis twirled his staff thoughtfully. Beings like Nexus value order above all. The very concept of stacking transformations would be seen as a threat to cosmic stability. Great, Vegeta muttered. Kakarot breaks the universe again. Not yet, Whis corrected. But Serix's warning was clear. Nexus is coming to investigate personally. How much time do we have? Gohan asked. Impossible to say. Entities like Nexus exist partially outside conventional spacetime. It could be days, weeks, or minutes. As if on cue, the building shuddered. Distant alarms began to wail. Bulma rushed to a console, typing frantically. Energy anomalies. Just like before, but stronger and spread across the entire planet. Beerus finally stood, stretching lazily but with a dangerous glint in his eyes. Well, it seems our visitor may have arrived early. I need to get back out there, Goku said, swinging his legs off the bed and immediately regretting it as dizziness overwhelmed him. You can barely stand, Chi-Chi protested, trying to push him back down. Doesn't matter. If this Nexus guy is here because of me, I need to face him. Goku closed his eyes, concentrating on his ki. It felt fragmented, different energy signatures fighting for dominance within him. But underneath it all, his core strength remained. He took a deep breath and powered up to his base state, relieved when his aura flickered to life normally. See? Good as new. No one looked convinced. Kakarot, Vegeta said, uncharacteristic concern in his voice, don't be a fool. You're in no condition to fight. I'll handle this. We'll all go, Gohan stated firmly. If this entity is as powerful as Whis suggests, we'll need everyone. Another tremor shook the building, stronger this time. Through the window, they could see strange lights flickering across the sky, curtains of energy like auroras, but moving with purpose, converging toward the city center. Goku stood, wobbling slightly but determined. No time to argue. I can fight. To prove his point, he flared his ki, pushing to Super Saiyan. The golden aura came, but rippled strangely, flecks of blue and even red appearing momentarily before stabilizing. Whis observed this with raised eyebrows. Interesting. Your transformations remain, unsettled. The stacking experiment has left residual effects. All the more reason for you to stay put. Chi-Chi insisted. Goku grinned, the familiar battle excitement already pushing away his discomfort. All the more reason to go see what this is about. Maybe I can learn to control it better. Before anyone could object further, he placed 2 fingers to his forehead, locked onto the largest energy disturbance he could sense, and vanished. Goku! Chi-Chi shouted at empty air. Vegeta growled in frustration. Idiot! Always rushing in. He turned to Whis. Get us there. Now. Whis nodded, tapping his staff. Hold on to me, everyone. As the others grabbed his robes, he added casually, this should be quite educational. Beerus yawned again. Or the end of your planet. Either way, I expect to be entertained. Goku materialized in downtown West City and immediately wished he'd given his body more recovery time. The simple act of instant transmission had drained him more than expected, his ki fluctuating wildly. But what he saw made him forget his own condition entirely. The city had changed. Buildings remained intact, but space itself seemed distorted. Streets bent at impossible angles while maintaining their physical structure. Light moved strangely, creating patches of accelerated time where people moved in fast forward, then slowed to near stillness a few feet away. And at the center of it all, hovering above the main plaza, was a figure both similar to and vastly different from Sarek's. Where the herald had been crystalline and humanoid, this being was abstract, a swirling mass of energy that occasionally solidified into temporary shapes before flowing into new configurations. If Goku looked closely, he could see patterns resembling galaxies, DNA strands, mathematical equations, and other complex structures forming and dissolving within its mass. Nexus, Goku whispered, somehow certain. As if hearing its name, the entity's swirling form oriented toward him. Unlike Sarek's, it didn't speak telepathically. Instead, reality itself seemed to vibrate, forming words from the fabric of spacetime. Transformer. Stacker of states. Violator of constants. Each word bent light around it, creating physical ripples through the air. Goku felt the entity scanning him, probing his energy signature much as Sarek's had, but with vastly greater precision. Hey! Goku called up. If you're upset about me stacking transformations, there's no need to mess with Earth. I'm the one who did it. Correct. You are the primary anomaly. Space contracted between them, bringing Nexus suddenly closer without movement. Your energy signature contains multiple transformation states in potential simultaneity. Unstable. Dangerous. Forbidden. Look, I don't know about forbidden, but I'm just trying to get stronger. Goku protested. That's what scions do. Scions. Species designed for incremental transformation. Not stacking. Stacking creates harmonic resonance patterns that destabilize universal constants. Goku wasn't entirely following the science, but he understood the threat well enough. So you're saying my new technique could be dangerous to the universe somehow? I don't want that. But maybe instead of whatever you're doing to the city, we could talk about it. The entity pulsed, expanding and contracting. Nexus does not negotiate. Nexus balances. Balances what exactly? Came Vegeta's voice as he and the others appeared with Whis. Nexus's swirling form rippled with new patterns as it registered the arrivals. More transformers. This world is saturated with potential instability. Whis stepped forward, bowing slightly. Great Nexus, keeper of constants. It has been many millennia since your kind interacted with our universe directly. I am Whis, angel and attendant to Lord Beerus, god of destruction of Universe 7. The entity's form stabilized slightly. Angel. Destroyer. Your functions are recognized and approved. You maintain balance through prescribed means. Beerus yawned dramatically. Yes, I destroy things. Very important job. Now, what's this about forbidden transformations? As god of destruction, I should be informed about anything potentially universe-ending happening in my jurisdiction. The Scion has discovered harmonic stacking of transformation states. Exponential power increase outside evolutionary parameters. Nexus's form flowed toward Goku again. The technique creates ripples in reality fabric. Multiplicative effect could shatter dimensional boundaries if fully mastered. Goku blinked. Wait, really? It's that powerful? Not a question of power, Nexus corrected, ripples of frustration somehow visible in its energy pattern. A question of resonance. Transformations have natural frequencies. Combining creates harmonic amplification. Unlimited stacking would create infinite feedback loop. Gohan's scientific mind caught on quickest. Like how soldiers marching in step can collapse a bridge through resonance frequency. If transformations have their own energy frequencies, stacking them could create amplification patterns that could theoretically crack reality itself, was finished. Fascinating. I hadn't considered the harmonic implications. I'm standing right here, you know, Goku complained. And I'm not trying to break reality. I just want to protect my friends and family. Nexus's swirling mass contracted, focusing entirely on Goku. Intent irrelevant. Effect paramount. Your discovery must be contained. And how exactly do you plan to contain it? Vegeta demanded, blue aura already flickering around him as he powered up to Super Saiyan Blue. Multiple solutions available. Preferred option, removal of transformation capability from this world. Goku's eyes widened. You mean take away our ability to transform? All of it? Correct. No way. Goku powered up, pushing through his fatigue into Super Saiyan state. The golden aura flickered strangely, hints of other transformations threatening to emerge unbidden. Our transformations are part of who we are. Nexus pulsed, its energy patterns accelerating. Alternative solution, isolation of primary anomaly for study and neutralization. That doesn't sound any better. Krillin said, powering up as well despite the obvious power difference. Whis stepped forward again. Great Nexus, perhaps there is a third option. The Saiyan who discovered this technique is still learning to control it. If properly guided, could he not learn to use it in ways that don't threaten cosmic stability? Nexus's form went still momentarily, as if considering. Unlikely. Saiyan psychology drives toward maximum power application. Restraint is not consistent with observed patterns. Hey! I can show restraint. Goku protested. When it matters. Beerus snorted. Evidence suggests otherwise, Nexus continued. Analysis of your energy signature indicates multiple prior transformation breakthroughs, each pushing natural limitations. That's called growth. Vegeta interjected. Something you apparently don't understand. The entity's swirling mass suddenly expanded, tendrils of energy reaching out toward each of them. Enough discourse. Containment begins now. Goku felt a tugging sensation as one of the tendrils touched his chest, not painful, but deeply wrong, as if something essential was being extracted from him. His Super Saiyan aura flickered and began to fade. He's trying to take our transformation energy. Gohan shouted, his own aura weakening as a tendril reached him. Not happening. Goku growled, focusing his ki to reinforce his transformation. An idea struck him. If Nexus was targeting his Super Saiyan energy specifically, what about trying a different transformation altogether? Fighting through the draining sensation, Goku reached for the divine energy of Super Saiyan God. Red aura burst around him, temporarily disrupting Nexus's tendril. Interesting. Shifting transformation states to avoid extraction. Adaptive. The entity pulsed with what almost seemed like approval. But inefficient. More tendrils shot out, targeting Goku specifically. Each one latched onto a different aspect of his ki, pulling simultaneously. Vegeta roared in defiance, firing a barrage of ki blasts at Nexus. The energy passed harmlessly through the entity's fluid form, barely disrupting its patterns. Physical attacks won't work. Gohan called out, trying to sever the tendrils with precise ki slices. It's not fully in our dimension. Goku felt his transformations being systematically stripped away. The red glow of Super Saiyan God dimmed. He tried jumping to blue, but couldn't. Stabilize it. Even his base power was being drained rapidly. In desperation, he reached for the technique that had started all this, stacking. If individual transformations were vulnerable, what about combining them? Kaioken, he shouted, forcing the multiplier technique to activate alongside his fading Super Saiyan God form. The effect was electric. Red aura flared around red aura, distinct yet unified, creating a deeper crimson glow that pulsed with power. The pain was intense but focused, more manageable than his previous attempts. Nexus's form recoiled slightly, its tendrils disrupted by the unexpected energy pattern. Stacking detected. Harmonic resonance increasing. Dangerous. That's right. Goku grinned through gritted teeth. And I'm just getting started. Reaching deeper, Goku pulled on Super Saiyan Blue, not replacing his current state but adding it to the mix. The strain was immense, his muscles bulging and key pathways burning with overload. His aura became a chaotic swirl of red and blue, occasionally flashing purple where they merged. Stop. Resonance approaching critical threshold. Nexus's form contracted defensively, more tendrils shooting out to counter the growing power. But each tendril that touched Goku's merged aura shattered into particles of light. Kakarot, you fool! Vegeta shouted. Your body can't handle that. Goku knew Vegeta was right. Already he could feel his cells rebelling, his very molecules threatening to tear apart under the strain of contradictory energy states. But he couldn't stop, Nexus was still draining the others, their auras dimming. Just a little more. With a primal scream, Goku reached for that elusive third state, the silver calm of Ultra Instinct. Not the completed form, just the principles, the feeling of letting go while maintaining control. For 3 heartbeats, it worked. Silver flickered through the red and blue maelstrom of his aura. His hair shifted between colors rapidly, black to red to blue to silver and back again. The ground beneath him disintegrated, reality itself seeming to bend around the impossible energy combination. Nexus's form pulsed rapidly, contracting and expanding in apparent alarm. Harmonic convergence detected. Reality stress exceeding safety parameters. The entity's tendrils retracted from everyone else, all attention now focused on Goku and the dangerous energy pattern he was generating. Containment priority alpha. Initiating dimensional isolation. Space began to fold around Goku, reality peeling away to reveal a void beyond. He could feel himself being separated from his friends, from his universe. No. With the last of his strength, Goku focused the stacked energy into his hands, forming a Kamehameha unlike any he'd created before, swirling with red, blue, and silver energy that didn't mix but existed in impossible harmony. Ka. Me. Ha. Me. Goku, don't. Whis called out, genuine alarm in his voice. The harmonic resonance could, ha. The beam that erupted from Goku's hands defied description. It wasn't just energy but something more fundamental, a wave of pure transformation potential that rippled through layers of reality as it struck Nexus directly. The entity's form didn't so much absorb the attack as resonate with it. For an instant, Nexus's swirling mass stabilized into a perfect mirror image of Goku, reflecting every aspect of his stacked transformation. Then both shattered. Goku's transformations collapsed all at once, the combined strain finally overwhelming him. He dropped to his knees, blood trickling from his nose and ears, vision blurring. Nexus's form exploded outward, then rapidly contracted to a single point of light that pulsed with rapidly shifting colors. Unexpected outcome. Harmonics integrated. Recalculating. The point of light expanded again, reforming into a smaller, more stable version of Nexus's original form. The distortions around the city began to recede, space and time flowing back to their normal patterns. Goku. Gohan rushed to his father's side, supporting him as he swayed. Did it work? Goku managed, barely conscious. Nexus hovered closer, its form now eerily calm. When it spoke, the words no longer rippled reality but formed normally in their minds. Your technique contains unexpected properties. The harmonic resonance created a feedback loop I had not anticipated. Fascinating. Whis approached cautiously. You seem different, Great Nexus. The Science energy pattern affected my own harmonic structure. Temporarily, at least. The entity's swirling form contracted slightly. I must reconsider the implications. If stacking can be controlled rather than prohibited. So you're not going to take away our transformations? Krillin asked hopefully. Not at this time. Further study is required. Nexus turned its attention fully to Goku. You, Transformer. Your discovery is dangerous but potentially valuable. The universe evolves through controlled instability. Goku managed a weak grin. So, we're good. Provisional status granted. You may continue exploration of harmonic stacking under specific conditions. Nexus's form began to fade, becoming transparent. I will return when you have mastered the technique or destroyed yourself attempting it. Either outcome provides useful data. Wait. Goku called out. How am I supposed to control it better? I can barely handle 2 transformations at once. Nexus paused, its form half dissolved. The error in your approach is fundamental. You attempt to force disparate energies to coexist. True harmony requires understanding that all transformations are expressions of a single unified state. With those cryptic words, the entity vanished completely. The strange energy patterns in the sky dissipated, and the city returned fully to normal, as if nothing had happened. Goku collapsed entirely, caught by Gohan and Vegeta. Idiot, Vegeta muttered, but there was reluctant admiration in his voice. Only you would attack a cosmic entity with an experimental technique that nearly killed you. And somehow make friends with it, Krillin added with a nervous laugh. Whis approached, studying Goku with unusual intensity. Most interesting. Nexus's parting advice contained genuine insight. I suspected as much, but to hear it confirmed by a cosmic constant entity. What's he talking about? Goku asked weakly as they helped him to his feet. I believe, Whis said, tapping his staff thoughtfully, that you've stumbled upon something truly revolutionary, Goku. Not just a new technique, but perhaps a fundamental truth about transformation itself. Great, Goku grinned despite his exhaustion. What is it? That remains for you to discover. Whis smiled enigmatically. But I suspect it will change everything you thought you knew about your power. As they prepared to return to Capsule Corporation, Goku looked up at the sky where Nexus had vanished. The entity's words echoed in his mind, all transformations are expressions of a single unified state. What did that mean? And more importantly, how much stronger could he become once he figured it out? One thing was certain, this was just the beginning. Beerus yawned dramatically. Well, that was moderately entertaining. Now, about that pudding you promised. Goku woke the next morning feeling surprisingly better. Whatever damage the triple stacking had done to his body seemed to be healing quickly. Scion resilience combined with some treatment from Dent had worked wonders. He sat up, examining his hands thoughtfully. Inside, he could feel his ki flowing normally again, though with strange new currents and eddies he'd never noticed before. It was as if the boundaries between his transformation states had become more permeable, energy flowing between them in subtle ways. All transformations are expressions of a single unified state, he murmured, trying to make sense of Nexus's parting words. A knock at the door interrupted his thoughts. Vegeta entered without waiting for a response, arms crossed and expression sour as usual. So you're not dead. Congratulations. Goku grinned. Ah, were you worried about me, Vegeta? Don't be absurd, Vegeta scoffed. I simply want to understand this new technique before you kill yourself with it. He paused, uncharacteristic uncertainty crossing his face. You really stacked 3 transformations? Kind of. Goku scratched his head. The third one didn't really take hold completely. More like, a flavor of Ultra Instinct rather than the real thing. But yeah, for a few seconds I had Super Saiyan God, Kaioken, and a touch of Ultra Instinct all going at once. Vegeta's jaw tightened. And you survived. Impossible by any reasonable standard, yet here you are. Here I am. Goku agreed cheerfully. And I think I can do better next time. Next time? Are you insane? That cosmic entity practically said your technique could shatter reality. Only if I do it wrong, Goku countered. But Nexus also gave me a hint about doing it right. Something about all transformations being expressions of one state. Vegeta was quiet for a moment, clearly processing this. The entity could have been misleading you. Trying to push you toward self-destruction. Nah, Whis said the same thing. Well, not exactly, but he seemed to agree with Nexus. And you're just going to blindly experiment until you either figure it out or blow yourself up. Goku swung his legs out of bed, stretching experimentally. His muscles were sore but functional. Pretty much. Want to help? You're impossible, Vegeta growled, but didn't immediately refuse. What did you have in mind? Sparring, of course. I need to test how different combinations feel, figure out what works and what doesn't. And potentially trigger another visit from that reality warping entity? No thanks. Nexus said it was fine as long as I'm trying to control it better, Goku reminded him. Besides, aren't you curious if you could do it too? That struck the right nerve. Vegeta's expression shifted subtly, competitive fire kindling in his eyes. You think I couldn't master a technique that you stumbled into by accident? Only one way to find out. Goku stood, wobbling slightly but steadying himself quickly. How about it? You and me, trying to unlock the secrets of transformation stacking. Vegeta huffed, but a reluctant smirk formed at the corner of his mouth. Fine. But not here. We'll use the gravity chamber, where the damage can be contained when you inevitably lose control again. Deal. As they headed toward the gravity chamber, Bulma intercepted them in the hallway, clipboard in hand and scientific curiosity burning in her eyes. And where do you two think you're going? Training, they answered simultaneously. Oh no. Not until I've run some tests on Goku's energy patterns. The readings I got during your fight with Nexus were unprecedented. The harmonic resonance patterns alone could revolutionize our understanding of ki manipulation. Goku and Vegeta exchanged glances. How long will these tests take? Vegeta demanded. Bulma smiled sweetly. Oh, not long. A day or two. Maybe a week. A week, both Scions shouted. Science takes time. Besides, wouldn't you rather understand what you're doing before you accidentally tear a hole in the universe? Before either could respond, Whis appeared in the hallway, seemingly from nowhere. A most excellent suggestion, Bulma. In fact, I believe careful study is precisely what's needed here. He turned to Goku with an enigmatic smile. Nexus's words were quite specific, Goku. All transformations being expressions of a single state implies something fundamental about the nature of your power, something that could indeed change everything if properly understood. Great! Goku said enthusiastically. So what does it mean? Whis chuckled. That's for you to discover. But perhaps approaching it scientifically, as Bulma suggests, rather than through brute force experimentation, would be wiser. Goku's enthusiasm dimmed slightly. You mean, theory instead of practice? I mean understanding before application, Whis corrected. Consider, each transformation you've achieved represents a different aspect of your potential. Super Saiyan is raw emotion channeled into power. Super Saiyan God is divine ki mastery. Ultra Instinct is the separation of consciousness from action. Each seems distinct, yet Nexus suggests they're merely facets of a unified whole. Goku furrowed his brow, trying to process this. So instead of stacking them like separate things, you should be seeking the common source from which they all flow, Whis finished. Find that, and true transformation harmony becomes possible. Vegeta, who had been listening intently, spoke up. This sounds suspiciously like the kind of meditation nonsense you're always trying to get us to do. Whis smiled serenely. Meditation, scientific analysis, supervised combat testing, the path matters less than the destination. But I suspect all three approaches combined will yield the fastest results. Bulma's eyes lit up. A multidisciplinary approach. Perfect. I'll get my equipment ready, and we can begin right away. As she hurried off, Goku looked at Vegeta and Whis. So, we're really going to do this the slow way. Unless you prefer another visit from Nexus when you inevitably lose control again, Vegeta pointed out. Goku sighed, then brightened. Well, I guess if it helps me get stronger in the end. Whis tapped his staff lightly. I believe this discovery may lead to something far beyond stronger, Goku. It may reveal the true nature of transformation itself, something even the gods don't fully understand. For once, both Scions were rendered momentarily speechless by the implications. Now then, Whis continued cheerfully, shall we begin? As they followed Whis toward Bulma's lab, Goku felt a familiar excitement building inside him, the thrill of a new challenge, a new frontier to explore. Stacking transformations had nearly killed him, but it had also revealed possibilities he'd never imagined. All transformations are expressions of a single unified state. Whatever that meant, Goku was determined to find out, and become stronger than ever in the process. Hey, Vegeta, he said as they walked, bet I figure it out before you do. Vegeta's response was a competitive smirk that promised the rivalry between them was about to reach entirely new heights. Behind them, unseen by either, Whis smiled knowingly. The journey they were beginning would change not just them, but potentially the very understanding of power throughout the multiverse. And somewhere beyond conventional space and time, Nexus watched with newfound interest as the resonance patterns of two Scion warriors began to shift in ways even a cosmic entity found unpredictable. Chapter 2, Resonance. Goku woke up screaming, his entire body pulsing with chaotic energy. The bedroom walls cracked as golden light erupted from his skin, shifting rapidly to blue, then red, then back to normal. Not again. Chi-Chi ducked as a lamp exploded, shards flying everywhere. Goku. Control it. I'm trying. Goku gripped the bedsheets, his hair flickering between black and gold. Sweat poured down his face as he fought the surging transformations trying to activate simultaneously. It's like they all want to come out at once. This marked the 5th night in a row he'd woken up transforming involuntarily. 2 weeks after the encounter with Nexus, and his body still couldn't decide which form to maintain. The door burst open, and Gohan rushed in wearing pajama pants and glasses. Dad! Focus on your breathing. Remember what Whis taught you. Goku nodded frantically, closing his eyes and trying to center himself. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. With each breath, the chaotic energy ebbed slightly. Colors stabilizing until finally his aura vanished completely. Thanks, son. Goku collapsed back against the pillows, exhausted from the simple act of preventing transformation. Thought I had it under control this time. Gohan handed him a glass of water. Bulma's sensors picked up the energy spike all the way from Capsule Corporation. Your ki is still highly unstable. Yeah, tell me about it. Goku gulped down the water, then noticed the destruction around him, scorched bedsheets, cracked walls, and Chi-Chi's resigned expression. Sorry about the bedroom, Chi-Chi, I've lost count of how many times we've rebuilt this house. Chi-Chi sighed, already collecting broken pieces of lamp. At least you didn't blow the roof off this time. Gohan sat on the edge of the bed, the scientist in him clearly fascinated despite the hour. Your transformations are behaving like quantum particles, existing in superposition until observed or forced into a definite state. It's like they're all trying to exist simultaneously. Is that good or bad? Depends on whether you can control it. Gohan adjusted his glasses. Bulma's latest tests show your cellular structure is adapting, but slowly. Your body wasn't designed to channel multiple transformation energies at once. Goku nodded, feeling the distinct energies flowing through him even now. Super Saiyan was closest to the surface, a burning, reactive power always ready to erupt. Deeper sat the divine calm of Super Saiyan God, and deeper still, the elusive stillness of Ultra Instinct. Previously distinct, they now bled into each other like watercolors. I can feel them all the time now, Goku said. Even when I'm not transformed, they're there, waiting. That's what worries me, Gohan admitted. The strain on your body. Goku waved a hand dismissively. I'll figure it out. Saiyans always get stronger after recovering from something tough, right? Chi-Chi shot him a warning look. Don't even think about pushing yourself before you've stabilized. You promised. I know. Goku's stomach growled loudly, breaking the tension. Hey, is there any food? Controlling these transformations makes me extra hungry. Chi-Chi and Gohan exchanged the familiar look of exasperated affection that Goku often inspired. I'll make breakfast, Chi-Chi said, checking the time, 4:30 a.m. Might as well, since we're all awake now. As Chi-Chi headed to the kitchen, Gohan lowered his voice. How bad is it really, Dad? No putting on a brave face for Mom. Goku's expression sobered. It's tough, son. Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled in different directions from inside. Like each transformation has its own. I dunno, personality. Personality? Yeah. When I'm Super Saiyan, I feel all intense and battle-ready. Super Saiyan God makes me calmer, more focused. Ultra Instinct is, well, it's like I'm there but not thinking, just doing. Goku scratched his head. Now they're all mixed up. Sometimes I'll be eating breakfast and suddenly feel Ultra Instinct calmness washing over me for no reason. Gohan's scientific curiosity was fully engaged. Fascinating. The psychological aspects of transformation are rarely studied because they're so subjective. This could explain why you've been acting differently. Differently how? Yesterday you meditated for 3 hours without moving. The day before, you nearly punched Vegeta through a wall when he made a small comment about your technique. Gohan smiled. It's like you're cycling through all your transformation personalities randomly. Goku hadn't considered this. That would explain why I suddenly understood what Whis was saying about quantum resonance fields yesterday. Must have been tapping into the Super Saiyan God consciousness. We should add this to Bulma's data. It could be crucial to understanding how to stabilize. A tremendous crash from outside cut Gohan off mid-sentence. Both Saiyans jumped to their feet instantly, rushing to the window. In the pre-dawn light, a familiar figure hovered above the front yard, Vegeta, surrounded by a flickering aura that couldn't seem to decide between blue and purple. Kakarot, he bellowed, his voice strained. Get out here. Oh no, Gohan muttered. Please tell me he didn't. Goku was already heading for the door. He totally did. Outside, Vegeta's condition looked even worse up close. His normally controlled aura pulsed erratically, and his hair flickered between black, blue, and a strange purplish color. Veins stood out on his forehead, and his expression showed equal parts triumph and agony. Look, what I've achieved. Vegeta managed through gritted teeth. You tried stacking transformations, didn't you? Goku asked, already knowing the answer. Super Saiyan Blue, and Evolution, simultaneously. Pride and pain battled in Vegeta's voice. I've been working on it for days. And now you can't turn it off, Goku guessed. As if on cue, Vegeta's aura imploded, the combined energies collapsing inward before he dropped unceremoniously to the ground. Goku rushed forward, catching his rival before he face-planted in the dirt. Stubborn idiot, Goku said, though without much heat. You could have waited until we understood it better. And let you master it first. Vegeta forced himself back to his feet, shaking off Goku's help. Not a chance. Chi-Chi appeared at the doorway, took one look at the situation, and sighed deeply. I'll set another place for breakfast. And call Bulma. Bulma was not amused. Hair frazzled from lack of sleep, she paced around her laboratory while various machines beeped and hummed, scanning both scions simultaneously. 2 weeks. That's all I asked for. 2 weeks of careful research before you tried anything. She pointed an accusing finger at her husband. And you? You knew better. Vegeta, now recovered enough to sit upright, scowled. I merely attempted a controlled experiment. At 3 in the morning. Without supervision or monitoring equipment. The prince of all scions doesn't need babysitting for training. Whis, who had arrived shortly after being contacted, observed the proceedings with barely concealed amusement. I did warn you both that transformation stacking requires understanding, not merely force of will. Yeah, but understanding is boring, Goku complained from his examination table. Besides, Vegeta got further than I expected. Stacking blue with evolution is impressive. Don't encourage him. Bulma snapped. The lab door slid open, and Gohan entered with a stack of printouts. I've analyzed both their cellular readings. It's concerning. He spread the papers across a table, pointing to microscopic images of cells with strange, luminous patterns within them. These are normal scion cells during transformation. He pointed to an image labeled, Control, Super Scion. Notice the uniform energy distribution. Now look at Dad's current cells. The image labeled, Goku, post-stacking, showed cells with chaotic, swirling patterns that shifted even in the still photograph. His cellular structure is in flux at the quantum level. Different transformation energies are competing for dominance within each cell. And Vegeta? Bulma asked, concerned despite her irritation. Gohan pointed to a third image. Similar chaos, but with a different pattern. His cells show signs of stress fractures, microtears in the cellular walls from forcing incompatible energies together. Is that dangerous? Goku asked. Potentially fatal, Whis answered before Gohan could. Your scion physiology is remarkably adaptable, but even it has limits. Forcing transformations to stack without understanding their resonant frequencies is like playing discordant notes at maximum volume. Eventually, something breaks. Vegeta scoffed. Scions grow stronger from breaking limits. There's breaking limits, and then there's breaking yourself, Bulma countered, pointing at his readings. Your key channels are showing signs of permanent damage. That sobered both scions quickly. So what do we do? Goku asked. I can't even control which transformation comes out anymore. And I came. So close to stabilizing the combined state, Vegeta added. With more practice, no more practice. Bulma cut him off. Not until we understand what we're dealing with. Whis tapped his staff thoughtfully. Perhaps what's needed is not more force or even more science, but more wisdom. Everyone turned to him expectantly. The problem you're facing isn't merely physical. Transformations aren't just changes to your bodies, they're expressions of different aspects of your being. Super Saiyan emerges from emotional intensity. God forms from divine awareness. Ultra instinct from the separation of thought from action. We know all this, Vegeta said impatiently. Yes, but have you considered that these aren't separate states at all? Whis continued. As Nexus said, all transformations may be expressions of a single unified state, your complete self. Goku's eyes widened with sudden insight. Like different instruments playing the same song. Everyone stared at him in surprise. What? I know music. Each transformation is like a different instrument, but they're all playing my song. Right now they're all playing different songs at once, which sounds terrible. Whis smiled approvingly. A surprisingly apt metaphor, Goku. Yes, harmony rather than forced combination may be the key. Great, Bulma sighed. So now we need musicians as well as scientists. What we need, Whis corrected, is someone who understands the spiritual foundation of transformation itself. Unfortunately, such wisdom is rare in the current era. Goku sat up straight, a memory surfacing. Wait. When I was fighting Nexus, I felt something weird, like I was connecting to something ancient when I stacked the transformations. Like I was tapping into knowledge that wasn't quite mine. Ancestral memory, perhaps, Whis mused. The Scion's transformation abilities didn't emerge from nowhere. They evolved over countless generations. So what, we need to find ancient Scion wisdom. Vegeta scoffed. Planet Vegeta is destroyed. Any such knowledge died with it. Not necessarily, Whis replied mysteriously. There are places where knowledge transcends physical destruction. Realms where the echoes of ancient wisdom still resonate. Spirit realms, Gohan realized. Like the other world, but different. Whis nodded. Precisely. Each species with transformation capabilities has its spiritual nexus, a place where the collective wisdom of their evolution is preserved. For Scions, this would be the primal realm. Never heard of it, Vegeta said flatly. Few have. It exists at the intersection of memory and spirit, accessible only to those who carry the transformative bloodline and face a crisis of harmony. Whis looked pointedly at Goku and Vegeta. Like you both, currently. Goku jumped up excitedly. So we can go there and find answers about stacking transformations? It's not quite so simple, Whis cautioned. The journey requires specific conditions. A moment of perfect balance between all your transformation states, followed by complete surrender of control. That sounds challenging, Gohan noted. Dad can barely maintain any balance between his transformations right now. Indeed. Which is why we'll need to facilitate the process. Whis turned to Bulma. Your quantum harmonic resonator might be useful here. Bulma blinked. My what now? The device you've been building to measure transformation frequencies. With some modifications, it could help synchronize their chaotic energy patterns long enough to open a pathway. Wait, you want to use experimental technology on their already unstable transformations? Bulma didn't look convinced. That sounds incredibly dangerous. Everything about their current situation is incredibly dangerous, Whis pointed out calmly. The longer their cellular structures remain in quantum flux, the greater the risk of permanent damage, or worse, the kind of harmonic catastrophe Nexus warned about. The mention of Nexus silenced everyone momentarily. Speaking of which, Gohan said carefully, shouldn't we be concerned? That attempting to access this primal realm might attract Nexus's attention again. A valid concern, Whis acknowledged. However, I believe Nexus is currently occupied elsewhere. What does that mean? Goku asked. Whis's expression grew serious. My observations suggest Nexus has begun collecting transformation energy from across the universe, perhaps even across multiple universes. The entity seems to be systematically visiting worlds with transformation-capable species and harvesting them. Harvesting? Bulma repeated, alarmed. You mean killing? No, merely removing their transformation abilities. Leaving them with only their base forms. That's horrible. Goku exclaimed. We have to stop it. And how do you propose to do that in your current condition? Vegeta demanded. You can barely control your own transformations, let alone challenge a cosmic entity again. Vegeta's right, Whis said. Your priority must be mastering harmonious transformation. Only then would you stand any chance against Nexus, assuming confrontation becomes necessary. Goku reluctantly nodded. Fine. So how do we get to this primal realm place? First, we stabilize your current energy fluctuations enough for the attempt. Whis turned to Bulma. How quickly can you modify your resonator? With Gohan's help. Maybe 48 hours. She was already making notes on her tablet. But I'll need detailed specifications for whatever it is you're trying to do. Of course. Whis tapped his staff, creating a holographic display of complex energy patterns. The resonator must synchronize their transformation frequencies to this pattern, the entry harmonic for the primal realm. Bulma studied the pattern, eyes widening. This is. I've never seen quantum equations this complex. It's beautiful. Indeed. The mathematics of transformation has its own elegance. Whis turned back to the science. Until the device is ready, you must both refrain from any transformation attempts. Complete power conservation. 2 days with no training. Goku groaned. 2 days of inner contemplation, Whis corrected firmly. Meditation on the nature of your transformations. Remember, they are not separate powers but aspects of your complete self. Goku and Vegeta exchanged dubious looks, neither particularly enthusiastic about 2 days of sitting still and thinking. Just to be clear, Bulma interjected, what exactly happens in this primal realm? What will they find there? Whis smiled enigmatically. That, I cannot say with certainty. The experience is unique to each individual and species. But for science, with your particular evolutionary history. He paused thoughtfully. Let's just say you may meet aspects of your heritage that history has forgotten. 2 days of forced meditation proved even more challenging than Goku anticipated. Without physical outlets for his energy, the transformation fluctuations intensified. One moment he'd be perfectly calm, the next filled with Super Saiyan aggression, then experiencing the detached awareness of Ultra Instinct. His mood swings became so unpredictable that Chi-Chi banished him to meditate by the lake rather than in the house. Sitting cross-legged at the water's edge, Goku tried for the 100th time to focus on his breathing as Whis had instructed. All transformations are expressions of a single unified state, he repeated like a mantra. They're all me, just different versions. A ripple of energy passed through him, his hair flashing silver momentarily before returning to black. Goku gritted his teeth, fighting the instinctive urge to either suppress the transformation or push into it fully. Let it flow, he reminded himself of Whis's instructions. Don't fight, don't force, just observe. Another ripple, this time blue energy crackling briefly around his fingers before fading. This is impossible, he groaned, flopping backward onto the grass in frustration. Giving up already, Kakarot? Goku opened one eye to see Vegeta standing over him, arms crossed and looking equally frustrated. Just taking a quick break, Goku said, sitting back up. How's your meditation going? Useless, Vegeta growled, dropping down beside him. I've accomplished nothing except developing a higher tolerance for boredom. Having the same problem with random transformations? Constantly. Super Saiyan Blue wants to emerge during dinner. Evolution activates while I'm sleeping. Vegeta scowled at the lake. Yesterday I was training Trunks in basic combat forms and suddenly felt my consciousness split like in Ultra Ego. The boy landed a punch that nearly broke my jaw while I was distracted. Goku couldn't help laughing. Bet he was proud of that. Insufferably so. A reluctant smirk tugged at Vegeta's mouth. I told him it was a teaching moment about capitalizing on openings. They sat in companionable silence for a moment, watching the lake's surface ripple in the breeze. Do you think this primal realm stuff is real? Goku finally asked. Or is Whis just trying to keep us occupied while Bulma figures out the science? With Whis, it's often both, Vegeta admitted. But the angel rarely wastes his time on pure fiction. If he believes this spirit realm exists. Then it probably does, Goku finished. I wonder what we'll find there. Ancient Saiyan Masters. The first Super Saiyan. The original homeworld, perhaps, Vegeta said quietly, a rare note of something like longing in his voice. Before we became conquerors. Before Frisia. Goku glanced at his rival, surprised by this uncharacteristic sentimentality. Before he could comment, a flicker of blue energy sparked around Vegeta's form. It's happening again, Vegeta muttered, closing his eyes and taking a deep breath. The energy faded, but not without effort. You know what's weird? Goku said, watching carefully. I can feel when your transformations start to activate. Like there's a resonance between us. I've noticed the same, Vegeta admitted reluctantly. When your energy fluctuates, mine responds. It's irritating. Or useful. Maybe we could. A sudden pressure washed over them both, familiar, cosmic, overwhelming. They jumped to their feet instinctively as the air before them shimmered and tore open, revealing a swirling portal of energy. Nexus. Goku tensed, ready despite his promise not to transform. But what stepped through wasn't the cosmic entity. It was a familiar blue-skinned figure, Cerex, Nexus's herald. Though something was different about the crystalline being. Its form seemed more solid, less fluid than before, and its color patterns moved more slowly. Transformers, it greeted them, voice forming directly in their minds as before. I come with urgent information. Where's your boss? Vegeta demanded. We heard Nexus has been busy stripping fighters of their transformations across the universe. Correction, across multiple universes. Cerex's crystalline form pulsed with each word. Nexus has determined that transformation proliferation has reached critical mass. Universal constants are threatened by unchecked transformation energy. So it's just going around taking people's powers away. Goku stepped forward angrily. That's not right. Those transformations belong to the fighters who earned them. Irrelevant. Cosmic stability supersedes individual achievement. Cerex's form contracted slightly. However, your previous encounter with Nexus has created complexity. The harmonic pattern you generated during stacking has affected Nexus's own resonance structure. Vegeta narrowed his eyes. What does that mean exactly? Nexus now contains a seed of transformation energy that resonates with yours, Scion. Cerex turned its faceless gaze to Goku. This creates potential for equilibrium rather than elimination. If mastery of harmonic transformation can be achieved, Nexus may reconsider the universal purge. So that's why you're here. To tell us to hurry up and figure out stacking transformations? I am here because Nexus is approaching your universe again. Other universes have been processed. Yours remains due to the anomaly you represent. Cerex raised a crystalline hand, projecting an image of star systems in the space between them. Currently, Nexus is here, in what you call the Capricorn Galaxy. Species with minor transformation capabilities are being neutralized. The projection showed a planet where humanoid figures were surrounded by Nexus's energy tendrils, their auras being systematically extracted and absorbed. That's terrible. Goku exclaimed. How long until Nexus reaches Earth? Approximately 7 of your days, assuming current absorption rates. The projection faded. Unless the anomaly is resolved before then. The anomaly being us and our transformation stacking, Vegeta clarified. Correct. Your breakthrough must be stabilized into a harmonic pattern that preserves cosmic constants while allowing transformation evolution. Cerex's form began to fade slightly. I cannot remain longer. This communication violates protocol. Wait. Goku called out. Why are you helping us? Aren't you supposed to be on Nexus's side? The crystalline being paused, its internal patterns shifting to a slower rhythm. I am Nexus's herald. But your harmonic affected Nexus, and through our connection, me as well. I now perceive alternatives to elimination. Potential in chaos. Harmony in diversity. You've evolved, Vegeta realized. Just as we're trying to. Perhaps. Or perhaps I am malfunctioning. Cerex's form continued fading. 7 days, Transformers. Find the harmony, or all transformation capability in this universe will be reset to base state. With those words, Cerex vanished, the portal closing behind it. Goku and Vegeta stared at the empty space for a moment, processing this new information. Well, Goku finally said, I guess our meditation break is over. We need to tell the others, Vegeta agreed, already turning toward Capsule Corporation. 7 days isn't much time. No, Goku said, suddenly serious. It's not even close to enough time to figure this out through trial and error. They looked at each other, both realizing the same thing. The primal realm, they said in unison. Absolutely not. Bulma slammed her hand on the laboratory table. The resonator isn't ready. We haven't tested it, calibrated it, or even finished building the stabilization matrix. Around the room, faces showed various degrees of concern. Gohan, Chi-Chi, Krillin, Piccolo, Whis, and even Beerus had gathered upon hearing the news of Ceriks's visit. We don't have a choice, Bulma, Goku insisted. Nexus is coming, and if we don't figure out harmonic transformation before it gets here, everyone loses their powers. And if the resonator malfunctions, you and Vegeta could lose a lot more than your powers. Bulma countered. We're talking cellular destabilization, quantum entanglement of your consciousness, possibly even complete molecular dispersal. She means you could die, Krillin helpfully translated. I know what she means, Goku replied. But it's a risk we have to take. Whis, who had been uncharacteristically quiet, finally spoke. The device doesn't need to be perfect, merely functional. For beings of Goku and Vegeta's power, even a partial harmonic resonance should be sufficient to open the pathway. Should be isn't good enough when we're talking about my husband and Goku. Bulma protested. Vegeta stepped forward, placing a hand on her shoulder. Bulma. We've faced worse odds before. Not like this, she said, voice softening. This isn't about fighting something you can punch. We're talking about fundamental forces we barely understand. Then we'll understand them better when we return, Vegeta said with characteristic confidence. Gohan cleared his throat. The resonator's primary functions are operational. The stabilization matrix is what's incomplete, but we could compensate by using external key sources to maintain the harmonic pattern. What does that mean? Chi-Chi asked. It means, Piccolo explained, that the rest of us can contribute our energy to stabilize Goku and Vegeta during the process. Similar to how we've shared energy for the spirit bomb, but more precise. Precisely, Whis nodded. A key circle, with the resonator as the focal point and Goku and Vegeta at its center. Bulma still looked unconvinced. And what if something goes wrong? What if they can't find their way back from this primal realm? I shall accompany them, Whis declared, surprising everyone. As an angel, I can observe without interfering in their experience while maintaining a tether to this reality. Beerus, who had been lounging on a chair eating snacks, suddenly sat up. Wait, you're going too? Who's supposed to attend to me while you're gallivanting through Scion spirit realms? I'm certain you can survive without putting for a few hours, Lord Beerus, Whis replied with a slight smile. Hours? Bulma exclaimed. The calculation suggested the experience would last minutes at most. Time flows differently in such realms, Whis explained. What feels like hours or days to them may indeed be only minutes here. Or vice versa. Chi-Chi grabbed Goku's arm. I don't like this. There are too many unknowns. Goku covered her hand with his, expression unusually serious. I know. But if we don't try, we'll lose everything anyway when Nexus arrives. At least this way, we have a chance. The room fell silent as everyone considered the situation. Finally, Bulma sighed deeply. Fine. But we do this right. Full monitoring equipment, maximum safety protocols, and everyone contributes to the key circle. She turned to Gohan. We'll need to work around the clock to optimize what we have. I'll help too, Piccolo offered. My energy control might be useful for the finer adjustments. As the group began discussing technical details, Goku pulled Vegeta aside. Hey, no matter what happens in there, we stick together, right? Vegeta's expression was unreadable for a moment before he gave a curt nod. Just try not to embarrass yourself in front of our ancestors, Kakarot. Goku grinned. No promises. 48 hours later, Bulma's laboratory had been transformed. The resonator, a massive circular device with crystalline components that hummed with energy, dominated the center of the room. Surrounding it, complex equipment monitored everything from quantum fluctuations to brainwave patterns. Goku and Vegeta stood in the center of the device, both wearing only loose training pants to minimize interference with the energy fields. Around them in a perfect circle stood their friends and family, Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, Android 18, and even Master Roshi. Each would contribute their unique key to stabilize the resonance pattern. Whis stood directly behind Goku and Vegeta, staff at the ready. Remember, your goal is not to force your way through but to harmonize with the energies presented. The primal realm responds to receptivity, not dominance. We get it, Vegeta said tensely. Less punching, more listening. Precisely. Whis smiled serenely. Though knowing you both, I expect some punching will still occur. Bulma made final adjustments to the equipment, worry evident despite her professional focus. The resonator will create a quantum field that synchronizes your transformation energies to the entry harmonic. When all your transformation states briefly align, the pathway should open automatically. Should, Vegeta noted dryly. Hey, I built this in 2 days based on angelic schematics while sleep-deprived. Bulma retorted. It's a miracle it exists at all. It will work, Whis assured them. The question is not whether the pathway will open, but what you will discover on the other side. Goku bounced on his toes excitedly. Only one way to find out. Chi-Chi stepped forward quickly, giving Goku a fierce hug. You come back, you hear me? No staying in some spirit realm because the training's good or whatever excuse you might come up with. I promise, Goku said, returning the hug. Besides, I'm pretty sure they don't have your cooking there. Bulma embraced Vegeta as well, whispering something that made even the proud prince's expression soften momentarily. Alright, everyone to your positions, Gohan called out. Remember, maintain a steady energy flow no matter what you see or feel. The harmonic has to remain stable. The circle of fighters took their places, each beginning to power up to their maximum. The energy in the room built rapidly, colors from each unique key signature swirling together above the resonator. Initiating primary sequence, Bulma announced, activating the device. The resonator hummed to life, crystalline components rotating slowly around Goku and Vegeta. Energy from the surrounding circle flowed into the device, becoming more coherent, more unified as it passed through the complex mechanisms. Now, Whis instructed, both of you, begin cycling through your transformations. Slowly, one at a time. Goku and Vegeta nodded, concentrating. Goku went first, his aura shifting from base to Super Saiyan, the golden light filling the chamber. Beside him, Vegeta matched the transformation, their combined energy causing the resonator to pulse brightly. Super Saiyan 2, Whis directed. Lightning crackled around both Saiyans as they pushed to the next level, hair growing longer and more rigid. The resonator's rotation speed increased, energy patterns within it growing more complex. Super Saiyan God. Red aura replaced gold, divine ki filling the chamber with its distinct pressure. The observers tensed but maintained their energy output, feeding the growing harmonic. Super Saiyan Blue. Blue replaced red, more controlled but vastly more powerful. The resonator now spun rapidly, crystalline components leaving trails of light as they moved. Now, Whis said carefully, reach for your unique transformations simultaneously. Vegeta, Evolution. Goku, Kaioken. Kaioken. Goku shouted, red energy flaring around his blue aura. Evolution. Vegeta pushed further, his blue aura darkening and intensifying. The energies should have clashed, but within the resonator's influence, they instead began to synchronize, forming complex patterns that shifted and flowed between the two Saiyans. Ultra Instinct State, Goku. Ultra Ego, Vegeta. Not complete transformations, just touch the edges of those states. Both Saiyans reached deeper, into the most challenging aspects of their power. Silver flickered through Goku's aura while purple tinged Vegeta's. Their hair began to shift colors rapidly, unable to settle on any one transformation. The resonator's humming grew to a crescendo, the entire device now a blur of motion and light. Perfect harmony in 3, 2, 1. For a split second, less than a heartbeat, all of Goku's transformations aligned perfectly. He could feel each distinct state not as separate powers but as aspects of himself, all singing the same note in perfect resonance. Beside him, Vegeta experienced the same phenomenon, their combined harmonics creating something greater than either could achieve alone. The center of the resonator erupted with light, not blinding but somehow deep, as if the illumination came from inside reality itself. A circular opening appeared, revealing not a physical location but a swirling vortex of energy that somehow contained images, planets, stars, battles, transformations, flowing too quickly to identify. Now! Whis commanded, stepping forward to place a hand on each Scion's shoulder. Enter the primal realm. Goku and Vegeta stepped forward in perfect sync, their harmonized auras extending around Whis as they moved into the portal. The sensation wasn't of physical movement but of consciousness expanding, reality folding around them rather than them traveling through it. The last thing Goku heard was Bulma's voice, harmonic. Stabilized. They're in. Then everything changed. The first sensation was falling, not physically but spiritually, as if his essence was descending through layers of reality. Colors Goku had never seen before flowed around him, and sounds beyond normal hearing filled his awareness. Beside him, he could sense rather than see Vegeta experiencing the same journey. Whis. Goku called out, though not with his voice. Are you here? I am observing, came the angel's response, distant yet clear. But this is your journey, not mine. I am merely the anchor. The falling sensation gradually slowed until Goku felt solid ground beneath his feet again. He opened eyes he hadn't realized were closed and gasped at what he saw. They stood on a vast plain beneath a sky of impossible colors, blues and purples deeper than any he'd seen, with stars that pulsed in rhythmic patterns. The landscape stretched to the horizon, red soil beneath their feet and strange, crystalline plants scattered across rolling hills. In the distance, mountains floated impossibly, detached from the ground yet clearly part of the landscape. But what took Goku's breath away was the planet that dominated the sky, massive, ringed, with continents he somehow recognized despite never having seen them before. Planet Vegeta, Vegeta whispered beside him, equally awestruck. But not as it was in our time. Older. Much older. How do you know? Goku asked, staring up at the magnificent sight. Because I've seen ancient maps in the royal archives. Vegeta pointed to the continents visible through the planet's wispy atmosphere. That configuration existed millions of years ago, long before our civilization reached its height. This is the ancestral memory of planet Vegeta, came a new voice from behind them. As it was when Scions first discovered the power of transformation. They spun around to find a figure watching them. Humanoid and clearly Scion, but unlike any Scion they'd encountered before. Tall and lean rather than bulky, with silver-streaked black hair that reached his waist. He wore simple robes of deep red, adorned with symbols that seemed to shift and change when viewed directly. Most striking were his eyes, completely black except for pinpoints of light that resembled stars. Who are you? Vegeta demanded, automatically dropping into a defensive stance. The figure smiled slightly. I am Kaldar, keeper of transformations. Or at least, that is the closest your minds can come to comprehending what I am. Are you, real? Goku asked, fascinated. I mean, are you an actual ancient Scion, or some kind of spirit guide thing? Kaldar's star-filled eyes regarded him with amusement. Both and neither. I am the collective memory of Scion transformation wisdom given form. Every breakthrough, every evolution, every understanding achieved by our kind regarding transformation exists within me. So you know about stacking transformations? Goku asked eagerly. I know why you have come. Kaldar gestured, and the landscape around them shifted, the plane transforming into a circular arena of red stone. You seek to understand what you have accidentally discovered, the harmonization of transformation states that your kind has long believed to be separate and sequential. Can you teach us? Vegeta pressed, straight to the point as always. We have limited time before a cosmic entity called Nexus arrives to strip our universe of transformation capabilities. Nexus, Kaldar repeated, recognition in his voice. The constant one returns, then. It has been many cycles since it last culled transformation potential from the universe. Wait, this has happened before? Goku asked in surprise. Kaldar nodded, waving a hand. The air before them shimmered, showing images of ancient battles between beings of light and the swirling form they recognized as Nexus. Many times throughout cosmic history, transformation potential grows beyond what Nexus considers safe parameters. When the potential for harmonic stacking emerges naturally, Nexus intervenes to reset the balance. But we can stop it this time, Goku insisted. If we master harmonic transformation, perhaps. Kaldar didn't sound convinced. But first you must understand what transformation truly is. Not separate powers to be accumulated like weapons, but aspects of your complete self to be harmonized. Vegeta crossed his arms impatiently. Yes, Whis already gave us that lecture. What we need are practical applications, not philosophy. To their surprise, Kaldar laughed, a warm, genuine sound. You have not changed, Prince of Science. Always seeking the direct path to power. You know who I am? Vegeta asked, startled. I know all who carry the transformation bloodline. Kaldar turned to Goku. And you, Kakarot, raised as Goku, the unlikely savior who has pushed our kind's potential further than any before you. So will you help us? Goku asked hopefully. I will show you the truth. Whether you can apply it is another matter. Kaldar raised both hands, and the arena around them filled with swirling energy that coalesced into dozens of Scion figures, each in different transformation states. Observe. The figures began moving in synchronized patterns, like dancers in perfect harmony. As they moved, their transformations shifted, some becoming Super Saiyan, others Redford Super Saiyan 4, still others forms that Goku and Vegeta had never seen before. Transformation is not merely a change in power or appearance, Kaldar explained. It is the expression of potential that exists within every cell of your being. The forms you know, Super Saiyan, God, Blue, Ultra Instinct, these are not separate powers but facets of your complete self. As he spoke, the dancing figures began to merge, their distinct transformations blending together without losing their individual qualities. The error in your approach to stacking is fundamental, Kaldar continued. You attempt to force multiple transformations to coexist, like layering one coat atop another. But true harmonic transformation requires understanding that all forms exist simultaneously within you, always. Goku watched, fascinated, as the merged figures separated again, flowing between transformations without distinct transitions. So instead of trying to activate Super Saiyan Blue and then add Kaioken on top, you should recognize that both already exist within you, waiting to be expressed in harmony, Kaldar finished. The pain and strain you experience comes from treating them as separate, competing energies rather than complementary aspects of your true self. That sounds reasonable in theory, Vegeta said skeptically, but in practice, these transformations have very different activation requirements. Super Saiyan requires emotional intensity, God forms require divine ki control, Ultra Instinct demands emptying the mind entirely. Kaldar nodded. Because you have learned them as separate techniques. But consider, does the bird think about the aerodynamics of each feather when it flies? Does your heart consider the chemistry of oxygen when it beats? No, they just do it naturally, Goku realized. Precisely. Your transformations have become tools you consciously wield rather than expressions of your natural state. Kaldar approached them, the star-like points in his eyes glowing brighter. To truly master harmonic transformation, you must unlearn what you have learned. Great, Vegeta muttered. More cryptic advice. Kaldar smiled again. Let me demonstrate more directly. Without warning, he placed a hand on each of their foreheads. Experience transformation as it was meant to be. The contact sent Goku's consciousness spinning. Suddenly he wasn't observing the dance of transformations, he was inside it, feeling each state not as a technique to be activated but as an aspect of himself that had always been there. Super Saiyan wasn't a reaction to anger but the expression of his protective spirit. God wasn't divine key manipulation but his connection to creation itself. Blue wasn't controlled godly power but the perfect balance between emotion and serenity. Ultra Instinct wasn't the absence of thought but the purest expression of his natural instincts. Most shocking of all, he could feel them all simultaneously, not stacked like pancakes but integrated like the instruments of an orchestra playing in perfect harmony. There was no strain, no conflict between energies, just a song of power that his entire being sang effortlessly. Beside him, Vegeta was experiencing a similar revelation, though through the lens of his own unique nature, pride instead of protection, conquest instead of connection, control instead of instinct. When Kaldar removed his hands, both Saiyan staggered back, overwhelmed by the experience. What was that? Goku gasped. Your true potential, Kaldar said simply. The harmonized state that exists beyond individual transformations. It felt effortless, Vegeta said, voice uncharacteristically subdued. All that power, yet no strain. Because you were not forcing anything, merely allowing your complete self to exist in harmony. Kaldar stepped back, observing them closely. This is what Nexus fears, not the raw power of stacked transformations, but the evolutionary leap they represent. A being who exists in harmonized transformation becomes something new, something beyond Nexus's ability to categorize or control. So if we can achieve that state, Goku said excitedly, we can stand against Nexus. Perhaps. Kaldar's expression grew serious. But the journey from where you are to true harmony is not simple. Your bodies and minds have spent too long treating transformations as separate, sequential states. Retraining yourselves will take time. Which we don't have, Vegeta pointed out grimly. Nexus will reach Earth in days. Then you must accelerate your evolution. Kaldar closed his eyes, seeming to consult some inner wisdom. There is a method, dangerous, but potentially effective. The crucible of resonance. That sounds promising, Goku said. What is it? The arena around them shifted again, revealing a circular depression in the center filled with swirling, multicolored energy that pulsed with rhythmic patterns. The crucible can force harmonization by exposing your consciousness directly to the primal transformation energy from which all Saiyan forms evolved, Kaldar explained. It will strip away the artificial boundaries you've created between transformation states, allowing you to experience them as the unified whole they truly are. Perfect. Goku moved toward it eagerly, but Kaldar raised a hand to stop him. The process is not without risk. Many who enter the crucible never emerge. Their consciousness becomes fragmented, lost in the infinite possibilities of transformation. Of course there's a catch, Vegeta muttered. There always is. What kind of fragmentation are we talking about? Goku asked. Kaldar gestured, and several transparent Saiyan figures appeared at the edge of the crucible, appearing damaged or incomplete, some frozen in partial transformations, others flickering between states uncontrollably. Your transformations have become integral to your identities, Kaldar explained. Fragmenting them can fragment your sense of self. Some lose the ability to maintain their base form, becoming trapped between states. Others lose the distinction between transformations entirely, unable to control which aspect manifests when. Sounds like what's already happening to us, Vegeta noted grimly. Because you've already begun the process through your stacking attempts, Kaldar confirmed. The difference is that the crucible can complete what you've started, either successfully. integrating your transformation states or completely shattering them. Goku and Vegeta exchanged looks, silently weighing the risks against the looming threat of Nexus. "We'll do it," Goku decided. "If there's even a chance it can help us stop Nexus, wait." Vegeta held up a hand, studying Kaldar suspiciously. "Why would this crucible exist at all if harmonic transformation is our natural state? Shouldn't we be able to achieve it through training alone?" Kaldar's star-filled eyes regarded Vegeta with approval. "An excellent question, Prince. The truth is that scions were not always limited as you are now. In ancient times, transformation was fluid, natural, shifting between states as easily as you now shift your gaze from one object to another." "What changed?" Goku asked. "Survival." Kaldar's expression grew somber. "As our race evolved, we faced threats that required specialized forms of power. Over generations, we began to partition our transformation potential, focusing specific aspects for specific purposes. Super Saiyan for raw combat power. Great Ape for overwhelming force. Eventually, these specializations became genetic, passed down as distinct transformation paths rather than aspects of a unified whole. So we evolved to have separate transformations because it was more useful." Vegeta clarified. "In the short term, yes. Specialized tools for specialized threats." Kaldar nodded. "But the price was losing the harmony that once came naturally. The crucible was created by the last Scion sages who remembered the old ways, hoping that future generations might someday rediscover what was lost. And we're those future generations," Goku realized. "You are the first in millennia to accidentally breach the barriers between transformation states," Kaldar confirmed. "That alone suggests you may survive the crucible where others would not." Vegeta looked at the swirling energy pit with new determination. "If our ancestors once mastered this naturally, then so can we." Together, Goku added, surprising Vegeta. "I think we have a better chance if we go in together. Our energy has been resonating since we both started stacking transformations." Kaldar nodded approvingly. "Wise. The crucible responds to harmonic patterns. Two scions with complementary energy signatures would indeed have greater chances of successful integration." "Then let's do this," Goku said, stepping toward the edge of the energy pit. "A warning first," Kaldar said, his tone deadly serious. "Within the crucible, you will experience all possible transformations simultaneously, past, present, and potential futures. Your consciousness will fragment before it can reintegrate. During this fragmentation, you must not cling to any single aspect of your power or identity. Those who try to preserve what they know rather than embracing the unknown become trapped." "Anything else we should know?" Vegeta asked dryly. "Yes." Kaldar actually smiled. "Trust each other. Your resonance may be the only guide back from the depths." With that final piece of advice, Kaldar stepped back, gesturing for them to proceed. Goku and Vegeta moved to the edge of the crucible, looking down into the swirling multicolored energy that seemed to contain infinite patterns within its depths. "Ready?" Goku asked, offering his hand to Vegeta. The prince stared at the outstretched hand for a long moment before reluctantly taking it. "If you tell anyone about this when we get back, yeah, you'll blast me into next week," Goku finished with a grin. "Let's go." Together, they jumped into the crucible of resonance. The moment they touched the energy, their physical forms dissolved. Goku felt his consciousness expand exponentially, becoming aware of aspects of transformation he'd never imagined. Every cell in his non-existent body sang with power as the artificial boundaries between states shattered like glass. He experienced Super Saiyan not as a technique but as the living embodiment of his fighting spirit. Super Saiyan God wasn't divine ki but his connection to creation itself. Ultra Instinct wasn't a separate state but the purest expression of his natural being. More transformations he'd never accessed flowed through him, Super Saiyan 4 with its primal connection to Oozuru, strange new forms that combined aspects of transformations he knew, and others so alien he couldn't comprehend them. Beside him / within him / throughout him, Vegeta underwent the same expansion, their consciousnesses intertwining through resonant harmonies. Where Goku's transformations expressed protection, connection, and instinct, Vegeta's manifested pride, conquest, and control, complementary aspects of Saiyan potential. Then, as Kaldar had warned, the fragmentation began. Goku felt himself splitting into countless versions, each embodying a different transformation or combination. The sensation wasn't painful but disorienting, like being everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. He could feel his sense of self dissolving, identity becoming fluid as the boundaries that defined Goku began to blur. Don't cling to any single aspect, he remembered Kaldar's warning. But as the fragmentation intensified, panic set in. Which part was the real him? The pure-hearted protector? The battle-hungry Saiyan? The transcendent ultra-instinct consciousness? Trust each other, came the second part of Kaldar's advice. Through the chaos of infinite transformations, Goku reached out not with his mind but with his ki, seeking the resonant frequency that connected him to Vegeta. He found it, a harmonic pattern unique to their intertwined destinies as rivals, as Saiyans, as the last purebloods of a nearly extinct race. Vegeta. He called, not with words but with energy. Kakarot. The response came faintly through the maelstrom of possibilities. I can't maintain cohesion. Goku focused on that connection, using it as an anchor as his consciousness continued to fragment. Don't try to hold yourself together. Let it happen, but remember the resonance between us. As if understanding, Vegeta's energy shifted, no longer fighting the fragmentation but flowing with it while maintaining the harmonic connection to Goku. Time lost all meaning as they experienced every possible transformation simultaneously. Goku saw / felt / became versions of himself he'd never imagined, fusions with Vegeta beyond Gogeta, mastery of God Ki that rivaled Beerus, ultra instinct perfected beyond even the angel's capabilities, and stranger forms that defied categorization. Through it all, the resonance with Vegeta remained his only constant, the one thread connecting infinite transformations to a cohesive whole. Then, gradually, a new pattern began to emerge from the chaos. Not reintegration exactly, but harmonization, each fragment of his consciousness finding its place in a greater symphony rather than competing for dominance. Super Saiyan wasn't separate from God, which wasn't distinct from Ultra Instinct, they were notes in the same chord, colors in the same spectrum, aspects of a unified whole. The realization crashed through Goku's fragmenting consciousness like a thunderbolt. Transformations weren't powers he activated but expressions of who he already was. He'd always been Super Saiyan, always been God, always been Ultra Instinct, the only difference was which aspect he allowed to surface in any given moment. Beside him, Vegeta experienced the same epiphany through his own unique lens. Their resonant harmony strengthened, no longer two Saiyans with complementary powers but two expressions of the same fundamental transformation potential. As understanding crystallized, the fragmentation reversed. Consciousness flowed back together not into separate states but into a harmonized whole. Goku felt himself becoming more than he had been, not by adding power but by removing the artificial divisions between aspects of his true self. When awareness of physical form returned, Goku found himself and Vegeta floating above the crucible, surrounded by auras unlike anything they'd manifested before. Not the golden flame of Super Saiyan or the blue fire of SSGSS or even the silver radiance of Ultra Instinct, but a prismatic light that contained all transformations simultaneously without conflict. They descended gently to the edge of the crucible where Kaldar waited, his star-filled eyes reflecting their new auras. "You have succeeded," he said simply, though clear approval colored his voice. "Few have ever emerged from the crucible intact, let alone harmonized." Goku looked down at his hands, marveling at the prismatic energy that flowed around them. He could feel every transformation he'd ever achieved existing simultaneously within him, yet there was no strain, no conflict between energies that should have been incompatible. "This is incredible," he breathed. "I can feel everything at once, but it's perfectly balanced. Vegeta examined his own transformed state with equal wonder. The power is beyond anything I've experienced, yet completely controlled. He looked at Kaldar sharply. Is this permanent? No, Kaldar admitted. The crucible forces harmonization, but maintaining this state in the physical world will require conscious effort until it becomes natural to you again. Think of it as relearning what your ancestors once knew instinctively. How do we maintain it once we return? Goku asked. Remember what you now understand, transformations are not separate powers but aspects of your complete self. Kaldar approached, placing a hand on each of their shoulders. The resonance between you will help stabilize the harmony until you can maintain it individually. And this will be enough to stand against Nexus? Vegeta pressed. That, Kaldar said with an enigmatic smile, depends not on the power of your transformation but on how you choose to use it. Nexus seeks balance above all. Show it that harmonic transformation serves balance rather than threatens it, and you may find an ally rather than an enemy. Before they could question him further, the landscape around them began to shimmer and fade. Your time here draws to a close, Kaldar observed. The physical anchor can maintain your connection to the primal realm only so long. Wait! Goku called out as Kaldar's form began to fade with their surroundings. How do we access this state again if we lose it? Look to your resonance, Kaldar's voice echoed as he dissolved into particles of light. Not just between yourselves, but with all transformation energy around you. The harmony exists everywhere once you learn to perceive it. The primal realm wavered like a mirage, colors bleeding together as reality began to reassert itself. The last thing Goku saw was planet Vegeta in the sky, its ancient continents a reminder of the heritage they carried within every cell. Then everything shifted, consciousness contracting rapidly as they were pulled back toward their physical forms. Remember, Kaldar's voice whispered as the primal realm vanished entirely, all transformations are expressions of a single unified state, your complete self. Goku gasped as awareness returned to his physical body. He was still standing in the center of Bulma's resonator, Vegeta beside him and Whis directly behind. Around them, their friends maintained the key circle, faces strained with concentration. They're back. Gohan called out, the first to notice the change. Power levels stabilizing, Bulma reported from her monitoring station. Transformation energy readings are, wait, that can't be right. Goku looked down at himself, unsurprised to find the prismatic aura from the primal realm still surrounding both him and Vegeta. It wasn't as pronounced as it had been in the spirit realm, but it was unmistakably the same harmonic pattern. Goku? Chi-Chi approached cautiously, eyes wide. Is that really you? Yeah, it's me. His voice sounded different even to his own ears, layered somehow, as if multiple versions of himself spoke in perfect unison. Just, all of me at once. Extraordinary, Whis murmured, studying them both with intense interest. You've achieved true harmonic transformation. Not stacking separate states but existing in all states simultaneously. How long were we gone? Vegeta asked, his voice carrying the same layered quality as Goku's. 17 minutes, Bulma answered, still staring at her readings in disbelief. But according to your brainwave patterns, you experienced several days subjectively. That sounds about right, Goku confirmed. He stretched experimentally, marveling at how normal yet extraordinary his body felt. Every muscle, every cell hummed with harmonic energy, transformations flowing together rather than competing. Did you find what you were looking for? Piccolo asked, always practical. We found more than that, Vegeta replied. We discovered what transformation truly is. As he spoke, his prismatic aura shifted, highlighting different aspects momentarily before returning to harmony. The others watched in amazement as recognizable elements of Super Saiyan, God, Blue, and even Ego became visible within the unified field before merging back into the whole. Can you explain what's happening? Gohan asked, scientific curiosity overcoming his awe. Goku tried to find the words. It's like, Imagine you've been playing piano with just one finger at a time, then suddenly realize you can use all 10 together to create chords instead of single notes. Terrible analogy, Vegeta scoffed, then offered his own. We've stopped forcing transformations to stack like separate layers and instead harmonized them into a unified expression of our true power. Whatever you did, the readings are unprecedented, Bulma reported. Your cellular structures have completely stabilized, no more quantum fluctuations or competing energy patterns. It's like your bodies have reconfigured at the molecular level to accommodate all transformation states simultaneously. But is it enough to stop Nexus? Krillin asked the question on everyone's mind. Only one way to find out, Goku replied. He turned to Vegeta. We should test this new state before Nexus arrives. Make sure we understand how it works in combat. Vegeta nodded. For once, we agree completely. I believe I can provide suitable testing conditions, Whis offered. My staff can generate training scenarios calibrated to your new capabilities. Wait, Chi-Chi interjected. You just got back from a dangerous spirit journey, and now you want to start fighting immediately. Don't you need to rest first? Goku laughed. Actually, I feel more rested than I have in weeks. The harmonic state is completely balanced, no strain, no energy waste. To demonstrate, he accelerated his movements suddenly, appearing across the room and back faster than most could track. See? Perfect control. Fascinating, Whis observed. You're accessing Ultra Instinct speed within your harmonized state without manifesting the transformation separately. Exactly. Goku's enthusiasm bubbled over. I can draw on any aspect of any transformation whenever needed without changing forms. While this scientific discussion is riveting, Vegeta cut in dryly, we have 5 days before Nexus arrives. Perhaps we should focus on practical applications rather than theory. Right, Goku agreed. Whis, can we use Beerus's planet for training? We might get a little destructive testing these new limits. The angel nodded. Lord Beerus will be delighted to have entertainment that doesn't involve putting cups. Shall we depart immediately? Before anyone could respond, a familiar pressure washed over the room, the unmistakable cosmic presence they'd felt twice before. Nexus, Goku and Vegeta said simultaneously, their harmonized auras pulsing in response to the entity's energy. But it's too soon. Bulma protested. Serix said we had 7 days. Evidently, Nexus has accelerated its timetable, Whis observed calmly. Perhaps your journey to the primal realm attracted its attention. The pressure intensified, reality rippling around them as space itself began to distort. Outside, through the laboratory windows, they could see the sky darkening unnaturally, the same phenomenon that had preceded Nexus's first arrival. No time for training now, Goku said, his harmonized state responding instinctively to the threat, aspects of Ultra Instinct rising to the surface of his prismatic aura. We'll have to figure this out on the fly. As usual, Vegeta added, his own aura shifting to emphasize aspects of his more aggressive transformations. The air before them tore open, a swirling vortex of cosmic energy forming into a familiar abstract shape. Nexus returned to judge their progress. Harmony detected, the entity's voice vibrated through reality itself. Unexpected evolution. Analysis required. Goku stepped forward, confidence flowing from his harmonized state. We've found what you called the unified state. All transformations existing in harmony rather than conflict. Nexus's form contracted, focusing on them with intense scrutiny. Verification required. Demonstration demanded. Vegeta smirked, the expression made more imposing by his prismatic aura. Gladly. Both scions moved to the center of the laboratory, their harmonized states resonating together to create a combined energy field that caused the very air to hum with power. Without words or signals, they began a synchronized demonstration of their new capabilities, shifting emphasis between transformation aspects without full changes, drawing on Super Scion's raw power one moment and Ultra Instinct's perfect movement the next, all while maintaining the unified harmonic state. Nexus observed in silence, its swirling form occasionally reshaping as if processing what it witnessed. When they finished the demonstration, the cosmic entity remained motionless for several seconds before responding. Harmonic transformation achieved. Unexpected solution to resonance instability. Its form expanded slightly. Explain methodology. We stopped treating transformations as separate powers and recognized them as aspects of our complete selves, Goku explained, the wisdom from the primal realm flowing naturally through him. The unified state exists when all aspects harmonize rather than compete. Simplistic yet accurate, Nexus acknowledged. Evolutionary progression beyond anticipated parameters. Does this mean you'll stop your universal purge? Vegeta demanded directly. We've proven transformation energy can exist in harmony without threatening cosmic constants. Nexus's form pulsed, internal patterns accelerating. Single demonstration insufficient for universal policy revision. Further testing required. What kind of testing? Goku asked warily. Combat evaluation. Harmonized transformation versus cosmic constant enforcement. The implication was clear, Nexus wanted to fight them, to test their new powers directly. Fine by me, Goku replied with characteristic enthusiasm, dropping into a fighting stance. Beside him, Vegeta did the same, their harmonized auras resonating at matching frequencies. Not in my laboratory. Bulma protested. Relocation agreed, Nexus's form began to expand, encompassing the entire room. Neutral testing ground required. Before anyone could object, reality shifted around them. The laboratory vanished, replaced by a vast, barren landscape beneath an alien sky. Goku recognized it immediately, the hyperbolic time chamber, or at least a replica of it, stretched to impossible dimensions. Only Goku, Vegeta, Whis, and Nexus had been transported. The cosmic entity hovered before them, its abstract form solidifying slightly into a more defined shape, still fundamentally alien, but now with recognizable limbs and a core mass that pulsed with energy. Combat parameters established, Nexus announced. Demonstrate harmonized transformation capabilities against cosmic constant enforcement. In other words, Whis translated, stepping back to a safe observation distance, show me what you've got. Goku and Vegeta exchanged glances, their harmonized states automatically synchronizing to complementary frequencies. Ready? Goku asked, excitement building. This was what Scions lived for, the chance to test themselves against the unknown. Vegeta's response was a confident smirk. Let's show this cosmic entity what true Scion harmony looks like. Together, they charged forward to face the greatest test of their newly harmonized powers, and possibly determine the transformation fate of the entire universe. Chapter 3, Harmony. Goku barely had time to think before the first attack hit. Nexus didn't move, not exactly, but suddenly space itself compressed between them, and a wave of pure cosmic force slammed into his chest. Whoa! He skidded backward, feet carving trenches in the endless white floor of the hyperbolic time chamber replica. His harmonized state instantly adapted, aspects of Super Saiyan 3's endurance and Ultra Instinct's reflexes surfacing through his prismatic aura without fully transforming. This guy's not messing around. Beside him, Vegeta had already recovered from a similar hit, his harmonized aura emphasizing aspects of Super Saiyan Blue evolution for maximum offensive power. Stop stating the obvious, Kakarot. Focus. They split apart instinctively as Nexus's form expanded, tendrils of cosmic energy lashing out from its core like whips. Where the tendrils touched the ground, matter simply ceased to exist, not destroyed but removed from reality itself. Inadequate response, Nexus's voice vibrated through the dimension. Demonstrate full harmonic capabilities. We're just warming up. Goku called back, excitement building despite the danger. He reached deeper into his harmonized state, feeling the distinct resonance of Kaioken amplification. Unlike before, He didn't need to call out the technique or force it to stack with other transformations, it emerged naturally from within the harmony, red energy patterns flowing through his prismatic aura without strain. The boost was immediate and massive. Goku vanished from sight, reappearing directly above Nexus with speed that combined instant transmission's teleportation and Ultra Instinct's fluid movement. His fist, charged with the combined power of Super Saiyan God's divine energy and Super Saiyan Blue's precise control, struck at Nexus's core. For the first time, the cosmic entity seemed genuinely caught off guard. Goku's attack connected, sending ripples through Nexus's semi-solid form. The entity contracted rapidly, pulsing with new energy patterns. Interesting. Harmonization enables technique combination without sequential activation. That's not even half of what we can do. Vegeta shouted, already capitalizing on the opening Goku had created. His harmonized state shifted emphasis to Ultra Ego's damage-absorbing properties as he charged directly into Nexus's destabilized form. Final flash. The beam that erupted from Vegeta's hands wasn't a familiar yellow but a prismatic torrent that contained aspects of every energy attack he'd ever mastered, from Gallic Gun to Hakai energy. It tore through Nexus's form, scattering portions of the cosmic entity across the dimensional space. Whis watched from a distance, staff in hand, expression unusually serious. Remarkable. They're not simply accessing different transformations sequentially, they're drawing on specific aspects simultaneously while maintaining perfect energy balance. Nexus's scattered form rapidly reconstituted, cosmic matter flowing back together like mercury. Combat capability verified. Proceeding to Phase 2 evaluation. The entity suddenly expanded exponentially, filling the entire dimension with its presence. Reality itself began to warp, gravity fluctuating wildly from 0 to thousands of times Earth normal in random patterns. The endless white landscape fractured, revealing the void of cosmic nothingness beneath. It's trying to destabilize the dimension. Goku called to Vegeta as they both struggled against the chaotic gravitational shifts. We need to adapt faster. I know that. Vegeta snapped back, though without real heat. His harmonized state was already shifting, emphasizing God Ki's immunity to normal physical forces. Goku did the same, reaching for the aspect of Ultra Instinct that existed beyond physical limitations. Together, their harmonized auras pulsed in sync, creating a bubble of stability within the chaos. Now that's teamwork. Goku grinned, genuine appreciation for their synchronized defense shining through. Let's counterattack. Together. For once, Vegeta didn't argue. Their harmonized states resonated at matching frequencies as they gathered energy, not for individual attacks but for a combined assault that drew on both their unique signatures. Harmonic. Goku began, cupping his hands at his side as familiar blue energy gathered, though now swirling with prismatic patterns. Final. Vegeta continued, extending both palms forward as his own energy built to match Goku's frequency. Surge, they finished in perfect unison, their attacks launching simultaneously and merging mid-flight into a spiraling beam of impossible power. The combined attack struck Nexus's expanded form, and for a moment, everything went still. Then reality itself seemed to bend around the point of impact, cosmic energy and harmonized transformation power creating a reaction that transcended conventional physics. When the light faded, Nexus had contracted back to its original size, its form now pulsing with new patterns that occasionally mirrored the prismatic quality of their harmonized auras. Impressive adaptation. Harmonic resonance between distinct entities multiplies effectiveness. The entity's form stabilized, internal patterns slowing. Phase 3 initiated, universal constant enforcement. I don't like the sound of that, Goku muttered. He was right to be concerned. Nexus's form suddenly emitted waves of energy that didn't attack them directly but instead targeted something more fundamental, their connection to transformation energy itself. Goku felt it immediately, a tugging sensation deep within his harmonized state, as if something essential was being systematically extracted. His prismatic aura flickered, distinct transformation aspects becoming harder to access. It's trying to neutralize our transformations. Vegeta shouted, experiencing the same effect. Just like it's been doing to other species across the universe. Goku focused inward, drawing on what they'd learned in the primal realm. Remember what Kaldar taught us. Transformations aren't separate powers that can be taken away, they're expressions of our complete selves. Vegeta nodded grimly, understanding. Rather than fighting against Nexus's extraction attempt, they both did something counterintuitive, they stopped actively maintaining their harmonized states. Instead of clinging to transformation energy, they simply allowed their true selves to exist without restriction. The effect was immediate and stunning. Their prismatic auras didn't fade, they intensified, becoming more coherent as the artificial distinction between transformed and untransformed states dissolved completely. Unexpected response, Nexus's extraction waves faltered. Transformation energy cannot be isolated from core identity. Revision required. That's right. Goku called out, feeling stronger than ever as he fully embraced the lesson from the primal realm. You can't take away what we are. Whis nodded approvingly from his observation point. They've truly understood. Transformation isn't something you do, it's something you are. Nexus's form pulsed rapidly, internal patterns reorganizing as it processed this development. Fascinating. Evolutionary adaptation bypasses fundamental constant enforcement. Recalculating approach. The cosmic entity contracted suddenly, then expanded in a new configuration, one that mimicked aspects of their harmonized states. Parts of Nexus's form now shimmered with prismatic energy similar to their own. Is it copying us? Goku asked, surprised by this turn of events. Assimilation and adaptation. Cosmic constants evolve through incorporation of viable anomalies. Nexus's form stabilized in its new configuration. Final phase, resonance test. Without warning, the entity projected 2 tendrils of energy that connected directly to Goku and Vegeta's chests. Unlike the previous attacks, these didn't harm or extract, they established a direct resonant link. Goku gasped as cosmic awareness flooded through him. Suddenly he could perceive not just Nexus but the fundamental forces it represented, the cosmic constants that maintained reality's coherence across the multiverse. He understood, in that moment, why transformation energy had concerned the entity so deeply. Whoa, he breathed, mind expanding to encompass concepts beyond normal comprehension. Transformations really can destabilize reality if they're not in harmony. Beside him, Vegeta experienced the same cosmic insight. The constants, he murmured, eyes wide. They're like universal laws that even gods must follow. Through the resonant connection, they could feel Nexus analyzing their harmonized states at the deepest level, not to counter or neutralize, but to understand. Verification complete, the entity finally announced, withdrawing the connecting tendrils. Harmonic transformation represents evolved solution to transformation instability. Purge protocol suspended pending universal implementation. Wait, Goku stepped forward, still processing the cosmic knowledge that had briefly flooded his consciousness. You mean you're not going to take away everyone's transformations? Correct. Alternative solution identified through your evolutionary breakthrough. Nexus's form shifted again, prismatic patterns becoming more pronounced. Harmonic transformation preserves cosmic constants while allowing transformation progression. So we passed your test, Vegeta stated, ever direct. Exceeded parameters. Created new possibility. The entity's form contracted slightly. Proposal, harmonic transformation knowledge distribution to all transformation-capable species. Goku blinked, surprised. You want us to teach others how to do this? Like, across the universe? Multiverse, Nexus corrected. Balanced evolution serves cosmic stability. Uneven development creates dangerous imbalance. Whis finally approached, tapping his staff thoughtfully. A most interesting proposition. Essentially, Nexus is suggesting that rather than removing transformation capabilities to preserve cosmic stability, we could instead guide all transformation-capable species toward harmonic integration. That would take forever. Vegeta protested. There must be thousands of species with transformation abilities across the universes. Time irrelevant to cosmic constants, Nexus replied. Process more important than completion. Direction establishes trajectory. Goku scratched his head, trying to parse the entity's meaning. So basically, as long as transformations are evolving toward harmony instead of just raw power, the universe stays stable. Simplified but accurate. Harmonic transformation represents maturation of evolutionary pathway. Whis smiled, clearly impressed by Goku's understanding. Indeed. What Nexus is proposing is not an immediate solution but a new direction for transformation energy throughout the multiverse, guided by your breakthrough. And if we refuse? Vegeta asked, ever suspicious. Nexus's form pulsed once. Alternative less optimal. Selective purging of highest instability risks while monitoring harmonic development. In other words, Whis translated, Nexus would still remove transformation abilities from species most likely to cause cosmic instability, while watching to see if harmonic transformation emerges naturally elsewhere. That doesn't sound great for a lot of fighters out there, Goku said, frowning. If we can help them understand transformation harmony instead of losing their powers completely. You want to become teachers? Vegeta scoffed, though with less conviction than usual. We're warriors, not instructors. Says the guy who trains Trunks, Goku countered with a grin. Besides, we don't have to do it all ourselves. We just need to share what we've learned with people who can spread the knowledge further. Whis nodded approvingly. The Supreme Kais, the Pride Troopers, the Galactic Patrol, there are many organizations across the universes that could help disseminate this understanding. Goku turned back to Nexus, decision made. Alright, we'll help spread the knowledge of harmonic transformation. But you have to promise not to take anyone's transformation abilities while they're learning. Some might take longer than others to get it. Reasonable condition. Adaptation period granted per species capability. Nexus's form shifted, extending what might have been interpreted as a hand. Agreement. Goku reached out without hesitation, his harmonized aura reacting to Nexus's energy with synchronized patterns rather than conflict. Agreement. As their energies connected, Goku felt a final pulse of cosmic awareness, a glimpse of countless worlds across the multiverse where beings with transformation abilities existed, each with unique evolutionary pathways that now had the potential to converge toward harmony rather than instability. Distribution will begin. Nexus's form began to fade, cosmic energy dispersing. Your harmonic breakthrough will be preserved in universal constants. As the entity vanished completely, the dimensional replica around them began to dissolve as well, reality folding back toward their original location. Vegeta crossed his arms, his harmonized aura still flowing smoothly. Did we just become universal transformation ambassadors or something equally ridiculous? Goku laughed. I think we might have. But hey, it beats having to fight Nexus across multiple universes, right? Before Vegeta could respond, reality completed its transition, depositing them back in Bulma's laboratory where their friends waited anxiously. Goku. Chi-Chi rushed forward, followed closely by Gohan and the others. What happened? You just vanished with that cosmic thing. Dad, your aura. Gohan stared in fascination at the prismatic energy still flowing harmoniously around both scions. It's even more stable than before. What did Nexus do? More like what we did, Goku replied, grinning broadly. We showed Nexus that transformation doesn't have to be a threat to the universe if it's done right. And apparently volunteered ourselves as inter-universal transformation tutors, Vegeta added dryly. Whis tapped his staff, creating a holographic display that showed countless dots of light representing worlds across the multiverse. What they've achieved is truly remarkable. Their harmonic transformation breakthrough has established a new evolutionary pathway for all transformation-capable species. In normal people words, please. Krillin requested. They saved transformation powers for everyone in the multiverse, Bulma translated, studying the readings from their harmonized states with scientific fascination. And based on these readings, discovered something even more incredible in the process. Speaking of which, Whis turned to Goku and Vegeta with unusual seriousness. You should demonstrate what you can truly do now. I don't believe you showed Nexus your full potential. Goku and Vegeta exchanged glances, a silent understanding passing between them. He's right, Goku admitted. During the battle, I could feel something. Even deeper within the harmonic state, something we haven't fully accessed yet. A level beyond even what the primal realm showed us, Vegeta agreed. But I'm not sure this laboratory is the best place to attempt it. Bulma immediately began ushering everyone toward the exit. Say no more. Outside, now. I just rebuilt this wing of Capsule Corp last month. The group reassembled on Capsule Corporation's sprawling rear grounds, a reinforced testing area Bulma had specifically designed to withstand Scion power demonstrations. A transparent energy shield hummed to life around the perimeter, containing any potential damage. In the center, Goku and Vegeta stood facing each other, their harmonized auras flowing in perfect synchronization. So what exactly are we about to see? Piccolo asked Whis, who watched with uncharacteristic anticipation. If I'm correct, the angel replied, the culmination of Scion transformation evolution, something perhaps even the gods have never witnessed. Goku rolled his shoulders, excitement building. Ready, Vegeta? Let's see what this harmony stuff is really capable of. Vegeta smirked, competitive fire burning despite their recent cooperation. Try to keep up, Kakarot. They began by powering up individually, their harmonized states intensifying as they drew on deeper reserves of energy. Unlike conventional transformations, there was no screaming or strain, just a steady amplification of the prismatic auras that already surrounded them. Amazing, Gohan murmured, analyzing with both scientific and martial understanding. They're not increasing power through forced output but by reducing energy waste to almost zero. Perfect transformation efficiency. The prismatic patterns within their auras became more defined, distinct aspects of different transformations visible as flowing currents rather than competing forces. Super Scion's golden light, God's divine crimson, Blue's controlled cerulean, Ultra Instinct's silver radiance, Ultra Ego's destructive purple, all existing simultaneously in perfect balance. That's what we showed Nexus, Goku explained, voice carrying easily despite the enormous energy surrounding him. Individual harmonic transformation. But during the battle, Vegeta continued, we discovered something more when our harmonized states resonated together. They moved closer, their prismatic auras beginning to interact not with conflict but with constructive interference, energy patterns aligning and amplifying where they met. Remember how fusion works? Goku asked the observers. Two fighters becoming one, multiplying their power. This is similar but different. We're not becoming one person, we're creating a unified energy field while maintaining our individual consciousness, Vegeta finished. As he spoke, the two Scions brought their auras into direct contact. Instead of repelling each other as energy fields normally would, they merged seamlessly, creating a combined prismatic sphere that encompassed both warriors while preserving their distinct signatures within the whole. Harmonic resonance, they announced simultaneously. The effect was stunning. The combined field expanded rapidly, prismatic energy spiraling in complex patterns that seemed to bend light and gravity around them. Within the sphere, Goku and Vegeta remained separate but connected, each drawing strength from the other's harmonic state while contributing their unique aspects to the whole. It's like, fusion without actually fusing, Krillin attempted to describe what they were witnessing. All the power multiplication without losing their individual identities. More than that, Whis observed, genuinely impressed. Fusion combines two beings into one new entity. This harmonic resonance creates a perfect symbiotic relationship between two complete individuals, each amplifying the other without compromise. The power continued to build, not through strain or effort but through increasingly perfect harmony. As their resonance deepened, new capabilities emerged spontaneously. Goku demonstrated. First, moving at speeds that made even Ultra Instinct seem sluggish by comparison. He appeared at various points around the testing ground simultaneously, not afterimages but actual instances of himself existing in multiple locations for split seconds at a time. Temporal harmony, Whis explained to the astonished observers. His consciousness is so perfectly aligned with transformation energy that he can briefly exist across multiple points in spacetime. Not to be outdone, Vegeta extended his hand, and a sphere of energy formed that contained aspects of every destructive technique he'd ever mastered, from Final Flash to Hakai energy, yet perfectly controlled and condensed to the size of a marble. Harmonic Destruction, he named it simply, before flicking the tiny sphere toward a reinforced target drone Bulma had deployed. The resulting explosion didn't just destroy the drone, it erased it from existence so completely that not even dust remained, while affecting nothing else in the vicinity. Absolute precision, Piccolo noted, impressed despite himself. Perfect energy control beyond anything I've ever seen. The demonstration continued as both Scions explored new aspects of their harmonized resonance. Goku created constructs of pure ki that moved and acted independently, like semi-autonomous energy beings. Vegeta manifested shields that adapted instantly to any type of attack, whether physical, energy-based, or even temporal. Together, they demonstrated combined techniques that transcended their individual capabilities, attacks that warped space, defenses that existed partially outside normal reality, movement that ignored conventional physics entirely. Throughout it all, their harmonized states remained perfectly stable, no strain or energy loss visible in either warrior. Finally, they allowed the harmonic resonance field to dissipate gradually, their individual prismatic auras separating once more as they returned to normal harmonized states. And that, Goku said with characteristic understatement, is what we can do so far. Pretty cool, right? The observers remained momentarily speechless, trying to process what they'd just witnessed. Gohan was the first to find his voice. Dad, Vegeta, what you've discovered goes beyond new techniques or power-ups. This is a fundamental evolution in how transformation energy works. Indeed, Whis agreed. You've rediscovered what was lost to science millennia ago, then advanced it further through your unique resonance. Most impressive. So what happens now? Bulma asked, already taking notes on her tablet. Nexus wants you to teach this to transformation users across the multiverse. That's the deal, Goku confirmed. We help spread the knowledge of harmonic transformation, and Nexus doesn't strip anyone's powers. But how exactly are you supposed to teach something this complex? Chi-Chi asked pragmatically. It took you a spiritual journey to some ancient Scion realm just to understand it yourselves. Actually, Vegeta interjected, the primal realm experience gave us the key insight, but the actual technique is surprisingly simple to explain once you understand the fundamental principle. All transformations are expressions of a single unified state, your complete self, Goku recited, the wisdom from Kaldar flowing naturally through him. Once someone truly gets that, the rest follows naturally. In theory, Piccolo noted skeptically. We could demonstrate with someone right now, Goku suggested, looking around the group eagerly. Any volunteers? Gohan stepped forward immediately, scientific curiosity combining with warrior spirit. I'll try it. I have multiple transformation states that might work for this experiment. Perfect. Goku moved to stand beside his son. The first step is understanding that your transformations aren't separate powers you switch between, but aspects of your complete self that are always present. Like instruments in an orchestra, Vegeta added, surprising everyone with the metaphor. Always present, merely emphasized or subdued as needed for the overall harmony. Gohan nodded thoughtfully. That makes sense theoretically. My ultimate form isn't really a transformation in the traditional sense, more like my potential fully unlocked. And Super Saiyan is still accessible within that state. Exactly. Goku placed a hand on Gohan's shoulder. Instead of thinking, now I'll transform into Ultimate Gohan or now I'll become Super Saiyan, try feeling all those aspects as already present within you, just waiting for expression. Under his father's guidance, Gohan closed his eyes and concentrated. His aura flickered to life, initially the standard white of his base form, then shifting as he accessed his ultimate state. But instead of the complete transformation, elements of it began to flow through his normal aura like currents in a stream. That's it. Goku encouraged. Don't force the full transformation, just let that aspect express itself alongside your base state. Gradually, Gohan's aura began to change, hints of prismatic energy appearing as he integrated aspects of his different power states. It wasn't the complete harmonization that Goku and Vegeta had achieved, but it was clearly the beginning stages. I can feel it, Gohan said, eyes wide with wonder as he examined his partially harmonized aura. It's like, they've always been connected, but I've been artificially separating them. Precisely, Whis nodded approvingly. Most impressive for a first attempt. This is just the beginning, Goku said, obvious pride in his voice. With practice, you'll be able to fully harmonize all your transformation aspects into a unified state. And it really is easier to teach than to discover, Vegeta admitted. Because once someone sees the principle demonstrated, the path becomes clear. Bulma was already thinking ahead, typing rapidly on her tablet. We could develop training programs, record demonstrations, create learning materials, this could work. Nexus seemed to think so, Goku agreed. And I bet once word gets out about what harmonized transformation can do, fighters everywhere will be eager to learn. Which reminds me, Whis interjected, Lord Beerus will be most interested in this development. As will the other gods of destruction and their angels. You think they'll want to learn it too? Krillin asked, surprised. Perhaps not directly, their divine energy functions somewhat differently, Whis explained. But the principles of harmony apply to all forms of transformation. I suspect even the gods will find aspects of this discovery useful. Great, Vegeta muttered. Now we'll have Beerus demanding demonstrations at all hours. Speaking of demonstrations, Goku turned to his rival with a competitive grin, we should probably figure out just how far this harmonic state can go. You know, for teaching purposes. Vegeta recognized the challenge immediately, a matching smirk forming. Naturally. A thorough understanding is essential for proper instruction. There they go again, Chi-Chi sighed, though with fond exasperation. Always finding excuses to fight. To be fair, Gohan pointed out, still examining his partially harmonized aura with fascination, they did just save transformation powers for the entire multiverse. Maybe they've earned a little sparring time. I believe Lord Beerus's planet would be the safest location for such educational activities, Whis suggested diplomatically. The residents of Earth might appreciate their home remaining intact. Goku bounced on his toes excitedly. Great idea. We can show Beerus what we discovered and test our limits at the same time. I'll prepare monitoring equipment, Bulma decided. If they're going to be pushing the boundaries of physics again, I want readings. As the group began making preparations, Goku found a quiet moment to approach Vegeta. Hey, he said, uncharacteristically serious. Pretty wild, huh? All this started because I accidentally stacked transformations during training. Your recklessness occasionally yields results, Vegeta acknowledged grudgingly. Though I still maintain I would have discovered harmonic transformation eventually through proper technique. Goku laughed. Sure you would. But admit it, doing it together worked out better than either of us could have managed alone. Vegeta was silent for a moment before offering a slight nod. The resonance between our harmonic states does create unique possibilities. That's practically a love confession coming from you, Goku teased. Don't push it, Kakarot, Vegeta growled, though without real heat. As they bantered, their harmonized auras pulsed in synchronized patterns, the resonance between them maintaining itself effortlessly now, a visible manifestation of the complex relationship between rivals who had become something more. 3 months later, the impact of their discovery had spread far beyond Earth. In the vast expanse of Lord Beerus's domain, representatives from across Universe 7 had gathered for what had been unofficially dubbed the Harmony Summit, the first large-scale training event for harmonic transformation. The attendees were diverse, scions from Universe 6, including Kaba, Caulifla, and Kale, members of the Galactic Patrol, warriors from dozens of worlds with transformation capabilities, even Frisia, who had arrived with surprising interest after hearing rumors of a new form of power. Goku moved among the groups with natural ease, demonstrating principles of harmony to clusters of eager students. His own harmonized state had become so natural that he rarely reverted to a conventional base form anymore, the prismatic aura a constant companion that shifted emphasis as needed rather than changing completely. The key is feeling the connections between your different transformations, he explained to Caulifla, who was attempting to harmonize her various Super Saiyan states. They're not separate powers but different expressions of your complete self. Nearby, Vegeta supervised more advanced practitioners with his characteristic demanding approach, though tempered with newfound patience born from his own journey to harmony. Concentration without tension, he barked at Kaba, whose aura showed promising prismatic patterns but still fluctuated erratically. Harmony cannot be forced. At the center of the massive training ground, Whis observed the proceedings with satisfaction, occasionally offering guidance where needed. Beside him, Beerus lounged on a floating platform, pretending disinterest despite obvious curiosity. I still say this whole harmony business is overrated, the god of destruction commented, lazily eating grapes. Divine energy naturally exists in balance without all this training nonsense. Indeed, Lord Beerus, Whis replied with a knowing smile. Though I couldn't help but notice you attempting harmonization techniques yourself last night when you thought no one was watching. Beerus choked slightly on a grape. Merely scientific curiosity. A god of destruction must understand all forms of power, even unnecessarily complicated ones. Of course, my lord. Their conversation was interrupted as a familiar cosmic distortion appeared above the training grounds. Activity ceased as everyone looked up to see a swirling portal form, from which emerged the crystalline form of Serix, Nexus's herald. Greetings, harmonizers, Serix addressed them collectively, its voice resonating directly in their minds. I come to observe progress on behalf of Nexus. Goku approached, bowing slightly in respect. Welcome. As you can see, we've started teaching harmonic transformation to representatives from across Universe 7. They'll return to their worlds and spread the knowledge further. Efficient methodology, Serix approved, its crystalline form reflecting prismatic light from the various harmonized auras around it. Nexus is pleased with implementation rate. We've found that once someone understands the basic principle, the technique develops naturally, Goku explained. It's like our bodies and minds were always meant to work this way. Correct assessment, came a deeper cosmic voice as a second portal opened, larger than the first. From this emerged Nexus itself, though in a more condensed form than during their previous encounters. The cosmic entity's appearance caused a stir among the assembled warriors, many of whom had only heard stories of the being that had threatened universal transformation capabilities. Nexus, Whis greeted with a respectful nod. An unexpected honor. We did not anticipate your personal attention to this project. Evolutionary inflection points merit direct observation. Nexus's form pulsed with the now familiar prismatic patterns they'd first seen after their battle. Harmonic transformation propagation exceeds predicted parameters. Is that good or bad? Goku asked directly. Positive development. Accelerated stability timeline. The entity's form contracted slightly. Universe 7 designated as primary harmonic nexus for multiverse propagation. Vegeta approached, arms crossed. Meaning what, exactly? Your universe will serve as training center for representatives from all universes, Serix translated. A hub for harmonic knowledge distribution. Beerus sat up straight, suddenly interested. Hold on. You're suggesting warriors from other universes come here? To my domain? Correct. Established infrastructure and experienced instructors optimize efficiency. Nexus turned its attention specifically to Goku and Vegeta. Primary harmonizers have demonstrated exceptional teaching capability. Goku rubbed the back of his head, slightly embarrassed by the cosmic praise. We're just sharing what we learned. Anyone could do it once they understand. False. Your resonance harmony remains unique across observed universes. Nexus's form shifted, displaying internal patterns that represented data from other realities. No other entities have achieved equivalent synchronized harmonic state. This revelation surprised even Whis. Fascinating. So their particular form of harmonic resonance is unique even among those who master the basic harmonized transformation? Correct. Suspected cause, long-term rivalry evolution creating perfect complementary energy signatures. Nexus's analysis continued, transformation paths developed in parallel opposition creating ideal resonance potential. Vegeta looked at Goku with newfound understanding. Our constant competition made our energy patterns perfectly matched opposites, Goku finished. Like puzzle pieces designed to fit together. Or like two instruments specifically tuned to create perfect harmony when played together, was suggested, continuing the musical metaphor they'd adopted for teaching. Precise analysis. This phenomenon warrants further study. Nexus's form pulsed with what might have been excitement. Request, demonstration of maximum resonance harmony for multiversal representatives. Goku grinned at Vegeta. What do you think? Should we show them what we've been working on? In the months since their discovery, they had continued exploring the limits of their harmonic resonance, developing new techniques and pushing boundaries that even Whis found impressive. Vegeta smirked back, competitive fire burning bright despite their partnership. I suppose a proper demonstration would be educational. The assembled warriors quickly cleared a massive space at Whis's direction, creating an arena-like area for the demonstration. Even Beerus moved his floating platform to a better viewing position, no longer pretending disinterest. As Goku and Vegeta took positions at the center of the clearing, their individual harmonized states already pulsing in anticipation, Serix addressed the gathered representatives. Observe carefully. What you are about to witness represents the theoretical maximum potential of harmonic transformation when achieved between perfectly resonant partners. The two scions stood facing each other, prismatic auras flowing like liquid light around their forms. Without words, they began the demonstration, each powering up individually first to showcase their complete harmonized states. Goku's aura expanded first, the prismatic energy containing distinct currents of each transformation aspect in perfect balance, Super Scion's raw power, God's divine connection, Blue's precise control, Ultra Instinct's instinctive perfection, all existing simultaneously without conflict. Beside him, Vegeta's harmonized state manifested with equal perfection but distinctly different emphasis, Super Scion's pride, God's divine authority, Blue's absolute focus, Ego's destructive potential, all balanced within his unique prismatic signature. Individual harmonic transformation, was narrated for the observers. All transformation aspects existing in perfect balance within a single warrior. Then came the next phase. The two scions moved in perfect sync, their individual harmonized auras extending toward each other like reaching hands. Where they met, the energies didn't clash but interwove, creating complex patterns that amplified both signatures simultaneously. Harmonic resonance, Whis continued. Two perfectly balanced warriors creating a synchronized energy field that multiplies their individual potentials. The combined field expanded rapidly, prismatic energy spiraling in increasingly complex patterns that seemed to bend reality around them. Within the sphere, Goku and Vegeta remained distinct but connected, each drawing strength from the other's harmonic state while contributing their unique aspects to the whole. But they didn't stop there. As the resonance deepened, they began a synchronized kata, not fighting each other but moving as complementary forces, like dancers performing a duet with perfect precision. Each movement created new patterns in their combined energy field, the harmony between them growing more profound with every synchronized breath. Harmonic synchronization, Whis identified this deeper state. Perfect resonance not just in energy but in movement and intent. The demonstration continued as they showcased techniques unique to their resonant state, teleporting simultaneously to different locations while maintaining their energy connection, creating constructs of prismatic ki that acted independently yet in perfect coordination, manipulating time and space within their harmonic field to achieve effects that defied conventional physics. Finally, they moved to stand back to back, their resonant field contracting around them until it seemed to vanish entirely, not dissipating but compressing to perfect efficiency, a singularity of transformation potential that existed beyond visible manifestation. Harmonic singularity was named the final state with genuine reverence. The ultimate expression of transformation harmony, perfect power with zero energy waste. Though their auras were no longer visible, the effect of their singularity state was evident in how reality itself seemed to bend slightly around them, light and gravity responding to their presence in subtle but profound ways. With a synchronized exhale, they released the singularity state, allowing their individual harmonized auras to re-emerge gradually, the demonstration complete. The assembled warriors erupted in amazed chatter, many having never imagined transformation energy could be utilized with such perfect harmony. Even Frisia, normally disdainful of Scion achievements, watched with calculating interest. Nexus's form pulsed with patterns that somehow conveyed approval despite its alien nature. Exceptional demonstration. Harmonic potential exceeds theoretical models. Cosmic constants enhanced rather than threatened by perfect resonance. Which was our point all along, Goku said, grinning despite the immense focus the demonstration had required. Transformation doesn't have to destabilize reality if it's done right. Conclusion verified. Nexus protocols permanently modified. The cosmic entity's form expanded slightly. Transformation purge cancelled. Harmonic evolution designated primary stability path. The announcement sent a wave of relief through the gathered representatives, many of whom had come from worlds where Nexus's previous visits had left transformation capabilities hanging in the balance. So our universe is going to become some kind of transformation teaching center? Goku asked, excitement building at the possibilities. With fighters coming from all over the multiverse to learn. Correct. Grand Zeno has approved inter-universal exchange program. Nexus's mention of the Omni King raised surprised murmurs from those familiar with the supreme deity. Cosmic harmony serves creation stability. Well, that settles it, Goku said cheerfully. Looks like we've got a lot more teaching to do, Vegeta. The prince scoffed, though without real objection. As if we had a choice. At least it will bring worthy challenges from other universes. Always looking for the next fight, Goku laughed. But you know, I was thinking, if our resonance works so well because of our complementary energy patterns, then other pairs of rivals might achieve similar results through proper training, Vegeta finished, following the thought. Potentially creating multiple resonant pairs across the universes. Correct hypothesis. Resonant pair identification project initiated. Nexus's form shifted, displaying patterns representing potential matches across multiple universes. Preliminary analysis identifies 17 high-probability pairings. This is getting more interesting by the minute, Whis observed. An entire network of resonant pairs across the multiverse, all connected through harmonic transformation principles. Cosmic web of harmonic stabilization, Nexus confirmed. Unprecedented evolutionary pathway. As the cosmic entity continued discussing implementation details with Whis and the other officials, Goku found a moment to pull Vegeta aside. Pretty amazing, huh? All this from one accident during training. A fortunate accident, Vegeta admitted grudgingly. Though I still maintain, that you would have figured it out eventually through proper technique, Goku finished with a grin. Yeah. But you have to admit, doing it together worked out better. Vegeta looked around at the gathered warriors from across the universe, all beginning their own journeys toward harmonic transformation because of what they had discovered together. Perhaps, he conceded with the barest hint of a smile. Our resonance does seem to produce unique results. Their harmonized auras pulsed in synchronized patterns, a visual representation of the bond that had evolved between the last two pure-blooded scions, once bitter rivals, now partners in a discovery that was changing the multiverse itself. So, Goku asked, already bouncing with characteristic enthusiasm, ready to show the multiverse what scions can really do. Vegeta's response was a competitive smirk that promised their journey was just beginning. Always, Kakarot. Always. As if in response, their prismatic auras flared brilliantly, harmonizing once more into the resonant field that represented not just the pinnacle of scion potential, but a new evolutionary path for transformation energy throughout existence, perfect harmony born from the eternal dance of rivalry and respect between two warriors who had finally discovered that their greatest strength came not from opposing each other, but from existing in perfect balance. Above them, Nexus observed with cosmic satisfaction as the future of transformation unfolded exactly as it should, not through forced compliance with arbitrary constants, but through the natural evolution of harmony from chaos, guided by two unlikely pioneers who had accidentally discovered what was possible when all transformations were understood as expressions of a single unified state, the complete self, realized in perfect harmony. The end. Thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video.